Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike.
I came for the party to get naughty, get me rocks on, we'll eat popcorn, watch you dance to this pop song.
Pop
Ding-a-ling.
strawberry,
It's just the same old song.
frosting.
All around the world, same song.
That's a good song. I haven't heard
That's
that.
a great song. That's Digital Underground.
in
You
a
know,
long time.
Tupac Shakur was a part of that group. A lot of people forgot about that.
He's
That's
a pretty
good
good
shit.
rapper, I heard.
Yeah, he's all right. He's not anything special. I mean, Milli Vanilli could lay it down thick too.
Yeah,
But-
he's no Drake. I'm
No,
kidding.
Nobody's ever going to be Drake or R. Kelly.
Oh shit! It's nice to be here with you folks. First drink of the night. It happens every time.
So good. I love it.
It doesn't look like you like it, Richard. It looks like it's stale cardboard.
You know what that is? That's the last vestige of your body saying, "Why you do this to me, Dimitri? Why you poison me, Dimitri?"
My liver cries from beneath my soul. Oh shit! It's the Batman spoiler party. We're going to talk all the spoilers for the Batman, all of them deep into the night. If you can't read, there's going to be spoilers. So don't watch this if
You can't read. Go to school.
How are the children going to learn to read if they can't even fit in the building?
This is school for ants.
Oh man! Hey, first super shout of the night was already waiting for us. Came in here, old Ben Wolf. Thanks, buddy. He says, "Cheers."
Cheers.
And to you.
Thank you,
Dude,
sir.
the way the engine lights up orange and gets brighter and brighter with the reveal of the Batmobile. Oh,
Yeah, that was very
emoji.
sexy.
The emoji he put on there was oh.
That's how every man feels like when they're unzipping their pants to reveal the glory, but it's never going to be that good. But you won't
Yeah.
feel like that. You're like,
That's her face on the disappointment.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That was a cool scene. That was a cool scene. And I'm sure that we'll talk about it. You know what's confusing me about that scene though? Did the Batmobile like start and stop on accident? Was that supposed to be like an
I think
embarrassing
he was revving it.
Okay, because it confused me because he like went and then
No, he was
stopped.
he's like, "You check my ride out, bitch. You know I'm coming for that ass, Penguin." He's like, Penguin's driving like a fucking Lexus or something, and Batman's got a fucking supercharger from Vin Diesel's asshole garage. Like he's like, no one's gonna win that one. Racing for pinks.
Penguin's like, oh, why would you show that to me? Come
This
on,
guy's crazy.
You guys know I'm still standing here, right?
I will say, by the way, I've seen a lot. Some obviously I've seen critical response to this movie. I've also seen like high praise of this movie. But one thing it feels like it's been across the board, everybody seems to really like, is the prosthetic makeup done to Colin Farrell's Penguin because it looks so fucking good. They did an amazing job with that, and also his performance overall. I don't think anybody had like a really bad word about his Penguin.
No. He was great. I can't wait to see more of him.
Yeah.
You see, they canceled that fucking. They canceled that Gotham TV show they were going to do. They said,
You mean
no.
the Penguin TV show on HBO Max?
No, not the Penguin one, but they were going to do one about the Gotham PD, and they canceled.
Oh,
it
wow! I'm
because-
glad.
Well, Matt Reeves said that he decided that it needs to be like a sort of a haunted, like Arkham Mansion type show or Arkham Asylum Arkham Asylum type show. So they're going to do that instead.
Well, they already did the show called Gotham anyway,
Yeah.
which I never watched it. I never cared about it. I never, I just if it doesn't have Batman in it, I really don't give a shit. Or if it's not like directly tied to one of his villain, like the Penguin show, I'm interested in because he's one of the Dark Knight's dastardly villains. But I don't give a shit really about Commissioner Gordon's what goes on behind the scenes before Batman shows up. I just don't.
Yeah,
care.
I imagine, dude, that Batman's gonna be in like the Penguin show at some point. I mean, like I don't know, like the Gotham thing to me, it was like, hey, come watch a football game. You're like, fuck, we're going to NFL game. Like, no, it's the USFL. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Who wants to go for the Butt Pirates? The Pittsburgh Butt Pirates. Like, I guess I'll go for them. Yes,
Yeah.
you will. I could look at you. But yeah, it was. Well, you know, it's funny, dude, because even Gotham, the TV show, knew it needed Batman. Because I think at the end they even had Batman show up in it in a terrible fucking costume, but he was in the show.
Oh yeah, and then they had their own Joker. The Batwoman has a Joker too. I'm like, hey man, and we'll wait till people get in before we get into that conversation. But like,
that's no for me, Randy.
Too much Jokers. Put that shit away. Put them back in the toy chest.
I ain't into that. Nah.
The Jaeger bomb. Thanks, buddy. He says, I've seen the Batman once. Did I miss it or did he stall the Batmobile on the reveal? That's what we were talking about. I watched it a second time. By the way, I went last night and saw it. Just wanted to do my due diligence, make sure I wasn't
good.
I was trying to be a good little boy. And I was like, I need to know. Because I'll be honest with you, man. The first time I saw it had been a long fucking day. I didn't get much sleep that night. I dozed off for like 5 minutes a couple times, maybe. And then so I was like, I need to see it again just to make sure. But anyways, yeah, on that, even the second time I watched it, when it seemed like it was like one of those Casino Royale moments where Batman fucks up a little bit because he's still sort of new at this. It looks like it stalls out for a second, and then the camera just goes away from it. I don't know what the fuck happened.
I think he was revving it. I think he was doing it as an intimidation factor. Like it was just him like jumping the car, and also it was a powerful fucking car. Like it's like the thing in Vin Diesel, if you watch Fast and the Furious, when he goes up to the stoplight and he kind of jumps when it's throttling because there's so much fucking engine power behind that bitch.
Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. It was.
I'm not a car guy, okay, but that's just what it looks like to me, and that's the fucking fantasy I'm going with.
Yeah, it could be either or, dude. Mark Darman, thanks, buddy. He says, I took a half day off work to see it before the stream. I work at university, so I guess I'm still skipping school to see movies. Hey, that's awesome. Right. Me and Jay used to skip school, and we'd listen to AC/DC on cassette in his Dodge Neon.
Yeah, we'd also drive up to the Richmond Mall, and since it wasn't open, we would like walk with the old people because I think there was only like a fucking yogurt shop and like a bunch of old people in like sweatpants walking around the Richmond Mall getting their exercise.
It's like, hey, dudes, let's hit on chicks. And then you
this one time we went
up
to
all the chicks, and they're like, they're in school.
Yeah, we went to a small town, and we just sat out in the parking lot, ate pizza, Little Caesars pizza, and then we didn't have anything to do for like 3 or 4 hours because nothing was open.
Yeah, it was still a good time until we ran out of cigarettes, and then we had to ask people to buy us cigarettes, and they'd say no.
Yeah, because I mean, at least they had a comic book shop up there, but we didn't have any money to spend.
Yeah, nothing, and we weren't really good at petty larceny, so we didn't steal anything either. We were good kids. We just skipped a little bit of school for 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
I got in so much trouble when they got that letter. Your son hasn't been in school in 2 weeks. I was like,
I got fucking caught, like literally by my uncle when I was on the road. He saw me, he passed me and looked dead at me, and he was like pointing at me. I was like, fuck, because I knew he was gonna go tell mom, and I knew he was gonna, because he was going back to the house. I'm like, son of a fuckhole.
I got caught by the school. They sent a letter home. I was like, fuck, this shit sucks.
I was gonna be caught either way because Mr. Lowe had already called mom, because when I skipped school with you that day, when I said when you did that work release program like they have for like inmates, but somehow they let kids do it in high school. Like I worked a job, so I'm allowed to leave at 12.
Yeah,
but I was like, I had that. Well, that whatever. I just said, I was like, I'm 18. I can leave whenever I fucking want. And I walked out to sign myself out, and then fucking. Dude, he's an asshole principal. I was a senior. He was a freshman principal. He took it upon himself to call my mom and be like, yeah, I just don't understand it. He seems like a good kid. He's never done anything like that before. And then suddenly he just exits and signs himself out. Can you believe? It's like I fucking crossed the border to North Korea. It was like I had done some terrible injustice.
You should have walked back into school the next day and just stormed to his office and be like, you listen to me, motherfucker. Don't you ever go over my head again.
No, I just wanted to go. I was like, you're not my principal. You're not my
father. I know, Master Bruce. Oh shit! Hey, thank you guys for being here. Yeah, thanks. I
was looking forward to it.
Monday night, little Monday Night Raw.
But I have so much to teach. So I was happy that there was more than 5 people that showed up.
Yeah, that's doing good. They call me Stamps, motherfucker. He says, "Did you notice the nod to Halloween with Riddler in the car?" So it was when he obviously trapped the DA. And I did not notice the nod to Halloween. What was it?
I don't get it.
I want to know what turns.
I mean, Batman was very intimidating, like Michael Myers would be, but I didn't catch the Halloween reference.
Yeah, I didn't either. It felt very Saw-ish.
I was watching someone else. They had a very, very critical opinion, which I like. I like to watch both because I think the Batman is the best Batman movie to ever be put out, period. But I like to watch the critical responses to it as well, just to see what their thoughts are. This one guy that was overly critical, I think, because he said he hated the fucking movie. He said it was one of the worst pieces of trash he'd ever seen. I was like, that's a little harsh. Okay, calm down. I know you just got off your mom's tit milk, but holy shit. But yeah, he had mentioned something about one thing that he mentioned, and I was like, yeah, I didn't see that, was he was trying to go with the woke angle. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't really buy what you're saying there. There was one scene where I was kind of like, yeah, but he was trying to make it a whole big thing. And I'm like, yeah, I don't get it. So I was like, I feel like sometimes when you watch certain people that are being critical of it, it's like if you go into a movie specifically looking for one thing, I mean, trust me, I don't like woke shit either, but if you're going into it looking for it like hardcore, you're going to find it no matter what. And this guy was trying to say one thing. I'm like, I didn't really even look at that. There was one, I mean, because there was one specific thing he was talking about. Like he was trying to draw comparisons that like they were trying to say all white people are bad and all black people are good. And I'm like, yeah, I don't get how you're saying that. And I'm like, I'm not tying the two together here because Penguin's white He was white in the comic books. Riddler's white. He was white in the comic books, and they happened to be assholes and bad guys. And the guys that happened to be in power were white. It had nothing to do with a color thing.
He knows Batman's not actually black, right? That's just the suit.
Well, Batman is actually Hispanic.
I don't know if you do this. He's 12%. He did
muchacharo.
He did one of those hereditary things, and he's 12% Hispanic, actually. So he can say what he wants.
One day, Chancho, when you're older, you'll wear stretchy pants.
The only thing you could possibly say was woke about that movie was her
privileged white people.
Yeah, a bunch of privileged white people, and it's like, I mean, she's not like she's
that's
talking about.
Well, it's a throwaway line. I don't know why the color. She didn't need to bring the color part up to it, but I understand what she was saying. I didn't read that much into it, but it was still like it's a throwaway line. I mean, I was like, it's kind of stupid.
I think the point is that Bruce Wayne was by definition a privileged white person, and like she had no idea that Batman was actually like by definition a privileged white kid. You know what I mean? That's the way I didn't take
well, the color distinction is stupid. You just say a privileged person. It doesn't matter what color they are. You can have privileged black people too. Look at Will Smith's dad or fucking uncle in Bel Air.
Yeah, that dude was rich, by the way.
He was rich as fuck.
I
love it. By the way, that Bel Air mansion sold for $141 million. This dude bought it. Like the biggest mansion in Bel Air. Did you see that? Like some dude that owns like Nova Scotia fucking modeling company. I don't know. It was like $141 fucking million.
Was he a fan of the show?
No, he just bought it because he said he wanted it. I mean, I don't know why he bought it, but it's huge. I mean, I was like, there's no way you have enough fucking cocaine to fill all those rooms.
It'd be cool.
Because that's the only way you'd buy it. You just want to be fucking Tony Montoya.
Courtney Reed, thanks, dude. He says, Jay, the wind on this hill is nice. Are you still here? Talking about
Courtney, yes, this wind is lovely and the weather is perfect outside. And I hope that more people join us, Courtney. I hope that you're enjoying your grapes. Because I'm definitely enjoying my wine.
Oh, the weather outside is weather.
Yeah, it's weird. It was so much. It's funny because I went and saw this with my brother, and he was right. I didn't think it was going to be as divisive as it's becoming among like hardcore fans. I mean, not the movie itself, but specifically the Riddler. There has been a lot of it's like people love Paul Dano's Riddler, or they fucking hate Paul Dano's Riddler. And one of the critiques I've heard, which I get there's similarities. I mean, I'm not going to say there's not, but they say that they're borrowing or in some cases flat out ripping off Christopher Nolan's Heath Ledger's Joker. That Paul Dano is trying too much to be like Heath Ledger's Joker in Nolan. And I'm like, I don't know. I think they struck the right balance between Riddler. Riddler is crazy as fuck. I mean, he is, but he's also a super narcissist. And they got to a point where it's not like he's not anarchy. He's not looking for like anarchy necessarily. He's got a mission, like a very clear, defined reason why he's doing it. Joker just wants to watch the world burn. But I mean, I think that he was pointing out specifically the camera scene where it looks like Riddler is torturing that dude with the mouse or the rats and shit. And it was also very similar to Heath Ledger's Joker scene where he's like torturing that guy. He's like, look at me. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, it's not, there's a billion movies that have done the same kind of shit, though. You might as well say Joker, the entire Joker character was a ripoff of some of the kills in Seven.
Yeah.
Except he didn't record it.
And look, I mean, you can look at this entire movie and call it ripoffs of other movies if you wanted to, but you can do that with a lot of movies. So I'm not judging the movie on that base. Like you said, Seven. I mean, they literally had the fucking notebooks, and they get to his house and they're reading the notebook. I mean, it's literally straight from the movie Seven. I don't knock the movie for it because I fucking love Seven. But if you wanted to make that argument, you could. But honestly, like I noticed that, like you can't not notice it that literally they did the same thing with the Riddler, whereas that has nothing to do with Dano's performance either. Like they do the same thing with Riddler where he's calling in and it's the nightly news and he's doing the whole thing, trying to put fear in the streets, all that. But I mean, that's just what a Batman villain does. So it's not, and was he the same as Heath Ledger? I don't think so. Like, not, I see where people make the comparison, but I just think that I don't think that performance was intended to have anything to do with Ledger's performance. You know what I mean? Even if there are similarities, it wasn't intended. So that makes it just different to me. I thought Dano was great.
I thought I was in love with his character. That was the best. I mean, because up to that point, the only two Riddlers you'd ever seen was the Adam West Riddler and Jim Carrey's Riddler, which were both like over the top cartoony. And then this is the first time they took Riddler and gave him like some serious cojones. And he's like, hey, Riddler is kind of goofy, I suppose, because he like leaves question marks everywhere. It's like, look at me, I do riddles, but he's also deadly. Like he's dangerous. And I like that too. And I also liked
when you get a fart from eating health food.
That's true. Yeah, Nutri-Grain.
Broccoli will make
But
it too.
it will. I do. A granola bar will like straight up go through you like water. Like every
my
time
shit
I've
up.
had a granola bar, within 25 minutes, I gotta poop.
Yeah,
But
dude.
the thing is, I gotta also point out. Well, yeah, because we're gonna spoiler. It doesn't matter. I love how they showed how Riddler recruited his henchmen. I thought that was fucking brilliant because he had his own little audience on like, you know, he's basically putting up everything he was doing on a YouTube type video, and he had like 500 followers, which is a big deal for, I mean, it's a big deal for anybody really, but he's had 500 people that are crazies, like fucking out there, like fringe groups.
Real
and I was
fringe
like,
types.
Yeah, yeah, they're, yeah, like pretty much Patrick Bateman's. Oh my God, a watermelon. But yeah, you know, these crazies, and I loved it because if you look at the way, because I've always wondered that, how do these villains of Batman always have these henchmen? I mean, they're not promising them 401ks and fucking like kickbacks. Yeah. This is how they get them. The only one that could afford henchmen that just hire mercenaries would be someone like Penguin because he's loaded. But so they'll fight for money like mercenaries. But in the other cases, like how does Joker get his people? Well, if you look at The Dark Knight, specifically when he was like, what are you going to get out of him? He's a schizoid. Like, you know, that's what, you know, that's Joker attracts those people. So that's his henchman. Riddler is like a crazy fucking psycho that wants to bring the establishment down. And he gets these fringe groups to help him do it. And these crazies on the internet that are obsessed with guns, obsessed with bringing down the corrupt government. I was like, and there you go. That's a
Joker.
Brilliant.
Joker also liquidated other people. Remember Michael Jai White's crew?
Yeah, he took them over.
So we're gonna have tryouts.
Yeah, well, and they were under duress too, because he's like, if you don't join me, it's either that or you die. I mean, it's like it's either that or you get a fucking pencil up your butthole. Which one are you gonna?
I'd be like, hey man, can we just split salaries?
What kind of pencil is it? Is it a mechanical one or a number 2? Let me know the options. But I really did like how they showed that, how Dano recruited them. I thought that was really smart. And I was like, oh, that's how they do it.
I kept trying to read the screen too on the sides the second time I watched it to see if they had like any Easter eggs going on, because you could see the chat going there. Like, rifles were great, guys. Hey, shit. Don't forget your cling wrap. All right. You know, like all that stuff was going on. But no, I liked it.
It looked like somebody was having like a Tupperware party and telling everybody what to bring to the party. It was like, make sure that you buy the one at the army surplus, the one with the gas mask part. And it's like, because I was like, oh yeah, kind of, you know what it looked like? It looked like a Reddit post. Like,
no, it
didn't look like a Reddit post.
Hey man, they got a sale over at Costco. Don't mix out. It's like, fuck.
I'm not making fun of it. That's what I'm saying. That to me, that was a really, really smart, like inside look on how these villains recruit their henchmen.
Yeah, I just think the one line that could have changed there, the way he says it, he's like, hey man, the Riddler's online. Did you know he has like 500 followers? Real fringe types. I was like, you could have changed that line a little bit. Like the 500 followers thing was just a weird thing.
Yeah, at least they didn't go like too stupid with it. And he was making TikTok videos and getting followers on there, because that's some shit that he's like the TikTok challenge. Like, yeah, he's like, do the riddle, make a question mark, go shoot up your government.
He's like the AM guy from the Allstate commercials.
I love that
like,
guy.
I'm doing a TikTok dance. This is gonna get tens and tens of views.
I also want to point out, they got me scared in one scene in this, because I was like, I think it's too, it would have been interesting, but I was like, I don't want to go in the direction that you're going in right now. Is when Alfred almost dies, when he gets blown up at the at the penthouse, because he opens up the package meant for Bruce Wayne, and then Alfred gets blown up. And I was like, all right, look, I've been with you on this plane ride, and it's been really good. Even the shitty movie was all right, but if you do this, I'm gonna fart in your mouth. Because I thought if they killed off Alfred and then you weren't gonna have Alfred at all, I was going to be like, this is a totally different Batman then, but I don't want this Batman yet. It's too early for it, Bruce. It's too early.
I'm going to say something and you're not going to like it. I actually had the exact opposite reaction, just because of the way the movie was going and the way that I was not a fan of it.
You just don't like Gollum. And I love Andy Serkis.
Yeah, Andy Serkis is whatever. He's fine. But like, I've never seen him act in anything that I was like, that dude's amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong. The CGI shit that he does.
No, he was just Gollum. He's been in a shit ton of movies, but
he's the Jordan of that stuff. But as far as like, I mean, seeing him actually like act in a role like as himself, I've never seen anything that made me go, oh my God, that guy's fucking amazing. But I will say this, like I wasn't a fan of his Alfred for the most part. Like he didn't do anything wrong, but it's just like, you're just doing like, he's basically just the same as Michael Caine was. Like he almost like the things he was saying was like
way better.
No, I know that's my point though. Like he was playing the same character. He's like, I know I'm not your father, you know, all that whole thing, and like the cufflinks thing and all that. Like nothing against Andy Serkis, but up to that point, I was like, I don't, whatever. Like,
well, see,
but
I was going to say, if the character died, it would be terrible though.
Well, I guess for future Batman movies, but to me, if we're doing it different and we're really trying to make a different Batman movie, at that point where I wasn't interested in him, and then they blew him up, I was like, that would be ballsy, and I was kind of like, that would. Hey, let's fuck shit up. Hey, let's say this is a different kind of Batman. Like you were saying before, when you thought when you watched it, you were like, oh my god, they might kill Batman, and I actually believed it.
Yeah, because there was actual stakes. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that could heighten the stakes. I'm not saying it would have been a good idea. I'm just saying at the time when I was watching it, when he was alive, I was kind of like, oh, you know.
I don't know, man. You're like that bandit in the old village that Michael Caine was talking about that was like just stealing the rubies and throwing
precious rubies,
throwing them to the fucking villagers to play with. I mean, not really. He was just giving them away. I just couldn't. You know what? In the Andy Serkis thing, and again, I think it goes back to the fact that there wasn't, and again, and it wasn't meant to be. It's not an accident. There wasn't as much Bruce Wayne in this because Batman at this point felt that Bruce Wayne literally did nothing for society, so he didn't want to be Bruce Wayne. He wanted to only be Batman. So the interactions that were happening between Alfred and Bruce Wayne in this were few and far between because, I mean, Jesus Christ, Bruce Wayne was always Batman. He like stayed in his room locked up in his emo for like hours on a time until it was nighttime to go back out and beat the shit out of guys. So, by the way, I was going to say, speaking of Alfred, dude, and he died back in 2016, but I just thought about it. I was like, dude, that guy would have been the best Alfred. I like hands down. Alan Rickman would have been a fucking badass Alfred, dude. Alan Rickman would have brought the thunder and the lightning to the role of Alfred that's never been done. But yeah,
fucking crushed, dude. That would have been amazing.
But yeah, by the way, and let's just go ahead and squeeze the butt cheeks of this fat pink elephant in the room.
Hang on one sec before we get too deep into that.
My hand's already on the cheek.
We gotta get caught up a little bit here. They call me Anthony Stamps mentioned earlier that they threw in a Halloween ad or a Halloween. I can't think with my brain. Easter egg, a Halloween Easter egg in the car scene with Gil Colson, the DA. And he said what it was Riddler popped up behind Colson, like how Michael popped up behind Annie in the original Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right. And the windows fogged up and shit like that. I get what you're saying there. Like, I couldn't help but think there was a lot, and we'll talk about that. There was a lot of Saw stuff in here for me as well. But thanks, man. James Smith bringing the fucking McDonald's back.
How's Pocahontas?
I brought you fucking breakfast, bitches. I got you some breakfast burritos. I know you're hungover. Thanks, man. That's really sweet.
He brought that gold. He's like, me and Pocahontas been doing just fine, bitch. You poor motherfucker. Here.
I've been getting them pelts. I don't know what that means. What are pelts?
Pelts. Yeah, that's from hunting.
Pelts. Yeah, hunting pelts.
Did you ever play Red Dead Redemption?
I thought I stepped on it. Yeah, never mind. He says, guys, I literally just walked in the door from seeing this movie. I absolutely loved it. In my opinion, the greatest character in the film was Gotham itself. I hope they leave this franchise as a standalone. No crossovers, no DCEU stuff. Totally agree. Dude.
I agree with you 1,000%. And you know what? You're welcome at this party here. You're welcome. Come on over here and let's have a good time and have a beer. Because I agree with you. Yes, Gotham was an incredible character, and they did do a really good job of showing how like just a dirty, disgusting. And I mentioned this before in the non-spoiler review. Very much like when I think of like The Crow, City of Angels, and the way it was just so gross and nasty, and it was just like alive, and it was like a writhing worm thing, barely limping on. That's exactly how they did it, and it became a character in of itself. But yes, I agree. I agree with you 100%. I don't think it was the greatest character, but I definitely think it was one of the best characters in the film. They really did do something really good with that, making that a character.
Yeah, and I didn't like the movie overall as much as Jay, but we both are in total agreement that Gotham was pretty fucking badass, man.
Yeah.
And it really, like, they saved it for the ending. Like, that whole ending scene, you were like, holy shit. Like, that, when that giant-ass fucking UFO thing came down, I was like, damn, Gotham is fucking, that water smelled like shit.
Yeah, dude, I was going to say, I was sitting in the theater, and I thought someone farted, and it smelled like vomit. And then I was like, no, that's just what the smell is coming through the screen, because I could actually smell the city. It was just so pungent.
Yeah, it was
pungent.
It was super
pungent,
IMAX.
Sir. You know, apparently, nothing against people that live in New York City, but apparently New York City stinks really fucking bad. So I'd imagine it's kind of like the same thing. Like, it just smells like urine and like shit. But people get, and especially during the summer days when the heat hits, it really is bad. But people are so used to it, they don't even know. But outsiders or visitors that go there, they're like, holy shit, it smells like an inside of a diaper. Because it does. It is shit, Austin.
It's those big cities.
It is shit.
You hit that downwind and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, and nothing against New York. I love it. But I love but it's not, you know.
I've never been, but I want to go. James Smith, thank you so much, man. That's really sweet of you. Really appreciate it. I'm glad you're so fucking hyped up on the Batman, man. We are too. Chef Bo, thanks, buddy. He says, when the hell are we going to get Robin in a newer movie and who could play the role? Chef, we have to disagree with you on this one. Jay and I are both of the camp. Bro. We don't need any more fucking Robin. Like, Robin's fucking pointless for Batman at this point. Like,
look, Robin's got some good stories, man, and Dick Grayson's great because his name's Dick Grayson, and you can have a
Master
lot of
Dick, as Alfred calls him. You know
Dick,
what I mean,
bro? Just going for a little ride in my love machine, baby. My name's Master Dick.
Hey, Master Dick, you want your breakfast?
Master
Come down
Dick
here and get
Grayson,
the sausage.
signed by Death Row Records, summer 2022. You know what it is. While he's got some great stories and there are some really good moments between Robin and Batman, I feel like it works better in the medium of either animated or comic book. Whenever I see Robin on screen, I'm not saying that they can't do a good Robin. I'm not saying that at all, because I think the closest they did to do an actual good Robin was Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Even that was kind of stretching it, because that made sense where he's a cop trying to help Batman, and that's kind of Robin. I was fine with that, but I feel like when you add Robin to the mix, it's almost like saying Batman, you're almost like taking away what's so special and unique about him. He's a solo badass that doesn't need help. He doesn't need anybody else. I'm not saying he's insensitive and he's like that tough, fucking awesome, I'm always trying to be badass in front of people, but in reality, I cry at cooking shows. He's not like that. But I'm just saying, like, the idea of Batman, he's an individual that's struggling against the corrupt crimes of Gotham, and he can take it, he can do it alone. And also, I almost feel like it's irresponsible because Dick Grayson is a kid. I mean, I almost feel like Batman wouldn't do that. Not really. I mean, I know that Robin's been around forever. I don't know what issue he premiered in and what year. It was in the 40s. But I just feel like Batman wouldn't take a kid and put him into that line of danger. Even though if you don't do that, you don't get badass stuff like Nightwing or Red Hood and shit like that. But
Death in the Family, great fucking storyline.
Yeah, that's
all that
great,
shit.
Yeah.
But I just don't want it, man. I just don't need it. And if they did cast somebody for it, though, I'd want them to subvert expectations, because you always picture like Batman running and Robin being a little bit smaller. I want to see like fucking Robin be bigger than Batman, just not be as good at crime fighting. Like, get like the fucking dude from Reacher, the big hulking motherfucker running next to.
I thought you were gonna go somewhere completely different, dude. I thought you were gonna say grab a midget that can act really well, like Peter Dinklage,
or go even Game smaller. Of Thrones.
And I'm like, whoa! It's like fucking throw the fastball and he pick him up and like Wolverine and just throw his ass across. I'm not. By the way, another thing. I love Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage is an insanely good actor. I'm just saying it'd be funny if you saw Peter Dinklage running around with Batman as Robin.
Yeah,
I don't know. That would just be so crazy.
I joke about him being bigger than Batman, but I think if they ever did do Robin, I think the way to go is to make him an actual equal. He doesn't have to be this tiny little dude. Like, make him, like, I'm sure Chris O'Donnell's not a tiny little dude, but they found someone smaller.
He's small,
find someone who's like the size of Batman who can actually like fight and isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, that would be interesting to me. Like, if he had an actual partner.
I guess it would be the dynamic. The whole dynamic would be is Batman is supposed to be a surrogate father to Robin, so they couldn't get anybody. I don't know. I feel like they for visual purposes they want to get someone smaller.
Yeah,
because first off, you can't have a guy that's as big as Batman. Like, it would be like, well, why aren't you Batman? He's like, because he can't take me in a fight.
Turn it into a fucking Batman's been doing all this crazy training and, like, you know what I'm saying? Just like I don't know, just do something different. That's all I'm saying. Paul Rizzo.
By the way, I will answer real quick. The person I would grab as Robin right now that I would say, I'd throw him as Robin is the dude that was from and I never watched him in anything else, but he does have that kind of look to him. Jensen Ackles.
Yeah, he looks like a Robin type.
I'd throw him in as Robin from Supernatural. Yeah, I'd throw him in.
He's got that fresh fucking face. You know what I mean?
And I just want to punch it because he's so good looking, and that's all.
Paul Rizzo, thanks, buddy. He says the movie was rad, but about 25 minutes too long. Couldn't agree more. I love the bat suit. I love the bat suit, except that mask / cowl. Give him a traditional mask with a sharp nose and white eyes. See, I'm actually a fan of the cowl, Paul. Like, there's something about it that just looks more natural than the other masks do. I don't know.
I really did love the suit from top to bottom. I feel like the reason why I loved it so much, it looks very much military. It looks very like he's not understand, like he hasn't figured out how exactly to streamline it yet. So he's just throwing on some like actual like military type gear and then painting it black and going out and fighting crime. It reminded me very much of like a Punisher type of Batman, like a Punisher mixed with a Batman. But I understand with the cowl, the nose was a bit flat. It did kind of look like in some, when he was looking dead on, and again, I love the suit, but the nose kind of looked like Adam West's bat nose, where it was kind of like flat. I would have liked a sharper curve to it, but it's all right. Don't worry about it.
What are you gonna do, man? Hey, Tyler Rumfeld. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this or not. I don't know if you all know this, but it's Tyler Rumfeld's motherfucking birthday. Hey,
Tyler
happy birthday, fuck Tyler
Rumfeld,
Rumfeld!
sir, March
It's
7th,
good, dude.
2022.
Solid motherfucker. It's
Let's
also
get it going. Take
it's
off
al-
your shirt.
I don't know if he's here or not, but it's also Chuck Eggers' fucking birthday. Happy fucking birthday, Chuck Eggers, you son of a
Chuck,
bitch.
holy,
Hey,
oh my
I'm
God, both you guys, take off your shirts and let's get crazy.
I'm not fucking done, dude. I'm not even fucking done. It's a great day in America. It's also motherfucking Jordan Cruz's birthday today. That son of a bitch has a fucking birthday.
There was a lot of fucking and good fucking going on March 7th.
Oh yeah,
when you all were born. Good job.
Oh, yeah.
Your parents
Yeah.
did it right. Without a condom, and they got it done.
Today's a special fucking day.
Good. Hey man, hope you guys enjoy the shit out of it.
Cheers to all you.
Go do drugs.
And we missed Steph Johnson's birthday. Happy birthday to you as well, Steph. Fuck, hey, Steph Johnson.
I mean, don't go give hugs, is what I meant to say.
What'd you say? Do drugs?
No, I didn't. I said,
why did my brain immediately go there? What's wrong with me?
No, I did say that, but I meant to say hugs.
Oh, I feel fuck. Tyler says, "Hey boys, thanks for the birthday shout out, Mike. Hey, you didn't even know I was gonna do it yet." He meant on Facebook, guys. You guys are the best. Watching you guys with my friend Mason and watching Hook. Hey, Hook's a fucking good movie. I don't like it as much as I used to as a kid, but I do like the food scene. Yeah, Hook kind of like lost.
Oh yeah, looky, I got hooky. It was funny. I actually just watched that with April for the first time a couple of weeks ago. She'd never seen it. I'd seen it before. She'd never seen it.
I
kind of like it. I don't know. I like it. The best part about it though is it's definitely Dustin Hoffman as Captain Hook. I think he was great.
That's Dustin fucking Hoffman?
Yeah, dude. How did you not know that? That's Dustin fucking Hoffman.
Motherfucker look like Zorro. Holy shit.
No, dude, that was Dustin Hoffman. And the dude that played Smee was the guy that played Mario in Mario Brothers, the movie.
I can't get over Dustin fucking Hoffman as Hook.
Yeah. What would the world be without Captain James Hook? Yeah, dude, it was Dustin Hoffman.
Maybe I need to go back and rewatch that shit.
That's a great movie.
Matt Corleone says the Batman has now replaced Batman Begins as my favorite. So there were so many amazing scenes that I can't pick out a favorite, which rarely happens.
I agree. I have a few scenes that really set it apart for me, but dude, I got to be honest. Like, yeah, for me, nostalgic wise, '89 Batman is always going to have a place in my heart and fart. But Batman Begins up to this point.
Hey, we still got rankings on Wednesday.
I rank The Dark Knight higher as far as a more, a better movie. But I mean, as far as like a pure Batman movie, Batman Begins probably was number one for me as far as like the way he looked and the way that he was. But The Dark Knight was just a better, more well put together movie. But now the Batman has completely replaced all of them because I feel like he looks good. It flows well. It's masterfully acted. And it's just got a really good atmosphere about Batman that I've never seen before. Like I said, I felt the Holy Spirit come out of my butt when I left that theater, and that's not the place it should be, y'all. It should be in your heart.
Yeah,
I don't think God not in your butt. There's something wrong.
I don't think God wants to be in your butt.
No, don't say that. I'm not gonna even back that up.
Definitely doesn't.
I'm not backing that up, Tracy.
I hope not. But no, and I'll save my ranking for Wednesday. By the way, Wednesday we're ranking everything on Wednesday. We're ranking the movies, the fucking suits, the Batmobiles, fucking all of it with your help. A Friday Night Fights type scenario where you folks can fucking vote. I'm using my hands a lot right now. Woo! And we're gonna do that on Wednesday. But
it's the biggest show we've ever put together. And if someone tells me it's not the biggest show, then they're the opposite of smart. Opposite of smart.
I'm the most not racist person.
I think it's funny how I saw somebody else that mentioned this, and I know it was just like it's funny because he doesn't say dumb, but he always says opposite of smart. Just say dumb. Just call him fucking stupid. If that's what you mean, just say it's opposite. I don't think they're guilty, but they're probably opposite of what guilty means or not guilty.
But yeah, my ranking is going to surprise you even after seeing it the second time for where I rank this. It's not the number one. I can give that away right now. But I'll get into.
I knew you changed your mind once you got a piece of Daddy's pie one more time.
No, I didn't change my mind. I didn't change my mind at all. No,
your ranking would surprise you.
No, like when I saw it the second time, I thought it was going to change my mind, and I went in and I was like, "No, it's the same fucking movie I just saw."
Mike, you know why that is? You're a closed-minded bigot. That's why. Because Batman's Hispanic and you don't care.
That's why it's that's well. That's what it is. I can't get over
piece
it,
of shit.
I can't fucking get over the fact that
you got a rebel flag on your new fucking car.
I got tattooed on my chest. That's the only reason I don't do this shit
You
shirtless.
piece of garbage juice.
Can't stay because I don't want to get spoiled, but gotta show the Wham Fam love. Hey, love you, Eduardo.
Hey,
You're probably not
thanks for
here
stopping
anymore,
by.
but we still love you, buddy. Thank you for that. We appreciate you. Mornay Colette, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Love the prison scene between Riddler and Batman. My
That
favorite
was a
part of the
great
movie.
scene.
And Jay, are you going to pick up the NECA Ultimate Part 7 Jason? You're the only one of
Well-
us who buys toys. That's what he's saying. He doesn't think that I buy toys. That's why. That's the only reason he didn't care about my.
Well, you know what? Well, that's fine. I only buy toys because my life is unfulfilled and I don't have two beautiful daughters that I get to spend time with. Oh yeah, Mike
I
does.
do have toys. I got.
I know
got
that's what I'm
toys
saying.
right
But
behind me.
I have to buy
And
something
two
to fill the
beautiful
void in my heart. I don't have that. But no, I didn't know about that. But I will look into that. Depending, NECA is a really great. I mean, I can actually talk about this. The last time I was up there, we filmed together. NECA and McFarlane, they really put out some really good toys, a really awesome collector edition. So I didn't know that a new Jason had come out, but I'll look into it. I might, depending on how much it is and where I can fit it in the budget. But if it's not like, because sometimes you get those NECA figurines, they're like fucking $45 and the price of the blood of your newborn. I'm like, nah,
Yeah,
that's too much.
motherfucker looks like he's wearing a diaper too.
Now
Like,
the blood of my second, if I had one, I'd give you that. But especially if it wasn't a boy, because I need a son to carry my name on. But anyway, no, but yeah, I do agree that and I know you Mike agreed too, because when we did the non-spoiler review, that prison scene, or when Paul Dano's behind the plexiglass and Batman's having that confrontation with him, really fucking awesome. Really, other than Maria, like
I like that. I actually like what he's saying. I was like, this is weird. Like you're a weird dude doing weird shit stuff, and I like it.
Yeah, but the only reason why he started singing it because Batman basically rejected his prom date, like his prom proposal. Like he's like, you and I were supposed to be together, and Batman's like, no. And then he starts singing weird shit because he was like, I'm fucking crazy, man. If you don't say yes, I'll do something crazy.
I was waiting on him to just go full Nick Cage and do the whole fucking just fucking spin his head around.
I know that's supposed to be great. Like in Face Off, that's supposed to be weird, but I always thought that part he looked cool as shit when he did that. I don't know why. He looks just badass. I don't know why.
Yeah, I thought Dano was great in that scene. I thought Dano was great. I did not like Dano for.
I love Paul Dano in it. Yeah.
I missed my problems with the movie. I thought he was great. Solo pilot, dude, you didn't have to do that. Another fucking McDonald's bags drop. This time, it's not just breakfast burritos, but we also have McMuffins, hash browns, and he brought us orange juices.
I don't like how you keep on saying McDonald's bag, because it's like they went to the dollar menu. No, this motherfucker went to somewhere fancy like Hardee's and got you the Hardee's breakfast. Hardee's is expensive.
I'm more of a Hardee's guy myself, and Hardee's does.
I agree. No, I like the cheap. I like McDonald's breakfast burritos are the greatest breakfast burritos of all time, but Hardee's is expensive. You got blue blood if you get to go to Hardee's for breakfast.
The way I see it when people make super chats like this is when you're hungover and you woke up and you're like, oh man, I feel like ass. And then no matter what bag of breakfast you see there, if someone was nice enough to bring you greasy food for your hangover and you see it on the table, it's like, doesn't matter. But something that's underrated at McDonald's, by the way, is those, what are they called? The syrupy fucking biscuits. They put syrup inside of them.
Is that the pancake thing?
Yeah, it's like a fucking McStuffin' fucking McSweetness.
Just because you pour syrup on something, motherfucker, don't make it pancakes.
What the fuck is that called? Someone will have to say it below.
McGriddle. A McGriddle.
McGriddle. Hey, why the fuck did McDonald's get rid of their goddamn bagels, by the way? They had that steak, egg, and cheese bagel. That was a fucking meal, dude.
I didn't know
that
they had
was
bagels.
Delicious. Oh, yeah, they had bagel sandwiches. Big as fuck. Dude, they probably stopped them because people were dying eating them, because I would literally eat one and like feel my heart stop. But
by the way, McDonald's, this gentleman that comes in, you're using these analogies, which is fine, and I appreciate what you're saying. I feel like he's like that dude from Event Horizon, Coop, when he goes like, "Here I come, motherfucker!" when he like blows himself back, and like he's gonna go back to the space station and kick some ass. That's if someone does that, that's what it reminds me of. But yeah, I didn't know. Speaking of which, that's a spoiler alert. McDonald's doesn't have bagels anymore. If you guys did, I had no idea. I literally was just surprised. I remembered McGriddles. I thought that would be something that had been phased out.
Oh, dude, the bagels were so fucking good, man. But anyways, Korjai been with us since the fucking beginning. Hey, we basically raised this guy. Hey, our son, Korjai has a question, and he says,
"It ain't gay. It ain't gay at all."
What?
Me and Mike's been raising Korjai for a while.
That's all right.
It ain't gay.
I hope it kind of is, though.
I mean, but
Hey,
all right if it gay. I mean, the old 1800s gay, like happy. I'm happy about poor John.
I'm talking about that good butt fucking.
I'm get
that's what I want to do.
Well, you know, we shouldn't be saying that on air in front of all these lovely people.
I'll
Because now that's a
suck
Maury
your dick right
Povich
now.
episode.
Corshot, that's funny. He says, Corshot here. Rumors that Anya Taylor-Joy. This one gay with a super chat, and it's 20 fucking minutes later after talking about McDonald's and how gay we are. We finally got to it. He says, rumors that Anya Taylor-Joy, who's in Queen's Gambit, Split, New Mutants, Last Night in Soho, I know who you're talking about, yeah, is in talks for Harley Quinn in the Matt Reeves universe. Now, I do like her acting. She would look good as Harley, maybe not in a movie, but in the Arkham Asylum spinoff. Here's the thing about that, Korjai, is that I saw that. I just saw the headline, and then I was like, immediately I go, who the fuck said it? And when I see who said it, it's like, we got this covered or something like that.
Yeah.
In this case, it was giant freaking badrobot.com or whatever their site
They're
is.
super reliable.
They sometimes get it right, but sometimes, a lot of times, they just throw shit out there. So
I was laying a lot of sarcasm on. It's like, hey, since it's sarcasm, yeah, good, because I'm laying it on pretty thick.
They're a step above. We got this covered, but they are no fucking like ABC News.
I swear to God, they used to be like a really good, reliable news source back in the day. Was it Latino News or what was it called? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was one of those. It was that sounds. It
right. Was like one of those. It was like something you wouldn't think was reliable, but it actually fucking was really reliable. They got their shit right almost like 90% of the time.
Yeah,
not like Latino,
not because it was called Latino, but just because the name was.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if they're Latino. I mean, that's just what they named their magazine. I mean, they could have named their magazine "Butt Fuck with No Rubbers," and I would have been like, "Oh, Butt Fucks with No Rubbers." Rawdogging.com got this right. But yeah, here's the thing. Harley Quinn, I think, has already been done really masterfully with Margot Robbie. I don't think Matt Reeves really should have Harley Quinn in his universe. And that's where also, as far as like the Joker, that's the big fat elephant I was going to talk about earlier. The big fat elephant, the Joker shows up at the end of the Batman. Yeah. He looks great. Fucking scary looking. Okay. Through the little peephole. And I know who the actor is. It was the
Barry
main Batman. Yeah, he's the guy in the Eternals. Did you watch that movie yet?
Fuck no, I never gonna.
You need to watch that.
No,
it's terrible. Don't save yourself from the boat that's sinking. But he's great. But that guy is great in that movie. But he's overshadowed by Angelina Jolie's lips. But he's a great actor. He really is a good actor, and he's freaky because you see him as Joker in this movie. I was like, oh man, he looks cool. And I was like, and he's like in the shadow, in the light, and his face looks kind of fucked up. He kind of looks like that one version of the Joker where he ripped his face off and like stapled it back on his own face. And he has like a little bit of tuft of hair, like kind of like Pennywise in the new It movies. And I was like, dude, he looks kind of weird. But then he was like, he sounded like a My Little Pony fucking villain or something when he started laughing. And I was like, that the laugh was not there. It was not hitting on the cylinders I needed to hit on. So I was like, nah. I was like, you better. And also, I don't think Matt Reeves should follow in that plot. Don't bring Joker into the second one. You already did it.
That's what I was gonna say. He actually, I think a lot of people took that towards the end of the movie sequence with him showing Joker as the same thing Batman Begins did, where they had the Joker card at the end, letting us know, this is gonna be the next movie. Matt Reeves actually came out today and he said, no, that's not what's going on at all. It was like basically two things. He was like, number one, we hired Barry Keoghan to do that role before we ever knew a Joaquin Phoenix Joker had happened. Was going to happen. So, and then Joaquin Phoenix comes out with this amazing Joker movie. And he was like, we went back to him and we're like, are you sure you want to do this? Because like this just happened and I'm sure. And he was like, no, I'm game for it, man. I don't care, whatever. Yeah. As you would do if you were trying to Joker's big fucking role. But he said that, but he did go on to say, he was like, that is not necessarily at all what we're doing with the next movie. They're like, the only reason we put Joker in this movie is because, and by the way, this is interesting too. Batman had already apprehended Joker.
That's what I mean.
He's the one who put him in Arkham Asylum.
Well, he's already had interaction with him
in year one, but Joker's also supposedly not Joker yet. Like he's not completely Joker yet, but Batman's the one that put that guy there who's going to become Joker clearly. But I believe you,
Napier.
I didn't like the sound of it. I didn't like the sound of his voice.
I didn't like the way he sounded at all.
I thought it was, they barely showed the shadow, but you know, the shadow fucking look cool, but
I think he looks. No, I think he's gonna be great. Like if they actually do bring Joker in at some point, which I really hope they don't. But because Joker's your ace in the hole. Like like if you've got a royal flush, he's the last, or you don't have the royal flush. You're almost there, and then that ace is thrown, and then that makes your royal flush. You save that bitch till the end, and you get all that money in the pot. Then you hit that shit. I would wait a couple of movies before I would bring a new Joker in. But the voice, the way that he sounds, totally off. I don't think it sounds anything like him. And Matt, that's interesting because it makes you wonder if Reeves had waited to throw in Joker. And again, for any director and writer, it must be such a they got to be like, God, I really want to touch that titty when they think of like Joker, and they're like, I just want to put my version of Joker in a Batman movie. And then some of them resist, but usually they always put Joker in some way. But it makes you wonder though if Reeves had been like, all right, well, now I'm aware of Joaquin Phoenix's awesome performance in Joker. Can we see if we can figure out a way to bring him into my universe? By the way,
the time
Joaquin's Joker would fit perfectly into the Batman universe.
He would, but the time makes it impossible.
Well, the timeline, well, you'd have to age up Joaquin, and that might make it weird and stupid. But nonetheless,
especially since they already used this guy. So
I feel like Joker, and again, I know that he's beloved by Batman fans and people love him in the DC universe. I think it's time to give Joker a little bit of a break. Okay, let's have a little break. We're not breaking up, bitch. I still love your vagina. I just want to break for a little while. Okay, let's go see other people like Black Mask, Victor Zsasz, Clayface, whoever the fuck.
And not just that, dude, but like if they just done the role, it'd be one thing because you could say, hey, the dude Batman or whatever. But like it's been done so well. Some of the greatest acting performances of our lifetimes have multiple times come from the same character. So it just seems like putting that out there again already is just fucking pointless.
Well, also they're doing a Joker sequel.
Yeah, and not just that, but you want to talk about, we watched Paul Dano, and some people are saying, oh, he's ripping off the Joker. Is anybody, no matter who steps into that role at this point, is anybody going to actually be able to appreciate what the dude's doing as Joker? You're just going to be seeing Joaquin, you're going to be seeing Heath Ledger, you're going to be seeing Jack Nicholson, and you're going to be comparing it instantly. It's just not, it's almost not fair. And also, like you said, dude, there's just Batman.
There's too many villains that they can choose from. There's way too many.
Yeah, just let's take a step back. And then at the end of it all, maybe by movie 5 or some shit, if Batman's like, how the fuck do these motherfuckers keep getting out of goddamn Arkham? And then you reveal, and I'm joking, but you reveal that Batman's wondering, how do I keep getting fucked? How do these people keep getting out? Blah, 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 whatever. And then maybe at the end of a few movies down the road, the reveal at the end, the Joker has been the one doing this the entire time. And he's been, James, it's me, the author of all your pain. You know what I mean? Do a thing like that.
Oh,
that would be cool.
That motherfucker got a sultry voice. I would have rather have, if they're going to do that, then it needs to be Penguin pulling all the strings. But either way, I just you need to take a break off the Joker. I actually wouldn't mind if they did a little more with Paul Dano. If Paul Dano comes back with another, maybe with a new villain in the second one.
Yeah, I like
kind of build on that momentum. Or no, he would actually team up with the Penguin in the sequel. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be good whatever happens. But answering your question, I do think Anna Taylor-Joy would be a great Harley Quinn. I just also think that's the same thing. We don't need that right now because I think Margot Robbie kind of fucking just nailed that shit. Yeah. And you're just gonna be comparing it. So let's. And we've done a lot with Harley Quinn at this point, so I do think she'd be great at it, though.
Yeah, that's well, we appreciate what you're saying, Korjai. But that's like when you get Xbox Live Gold membership, and then you're like, but you should get the Game Pass. I can't afford it right now. I really appreciate it, but I can't afford that extra 10. But I understand that it's a good service. Thanks.
Jacob says the after credits is a website that makes you do riddles, and apparently there's a hint at the next villain being Hush, which would make total fucking sense.
Yeah, well, right? they did. I mean, they did play around with the Hush thing, and then even though, I guess they did. And then the Court of Owls. I got a real strong sense of the Court of Owls in this too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, when Penguin's like, you have no idea how deep this thing fucking goes. You know what I mean? Or several times that was said.
When Gil was talking about it, he's like, I can't tell you.
Yeah. So I think that's the Court of Owls would be fucking perfect for that, right?
But I feel like Court of Owls, and not Hush necessarily. Well, I don't know. Court of Owls is a little too early. Because you got to really build that shit up. You got to really drop hints. You got to Thanos that bitch. Drop hints. If Matt Reeves were interested in like a 6-movie deal, which I hope he is, and drop hints all the way to the 6th one, and then have the Court of Owls fucking finale, that would be incredible. But who knows how long that Reeves is actually going to do it for?
Yeah. Mornay, she said, sorry, Mike. I was just playing. Me and Jay joke about that all the time because sometimes people come on and be like, Jay, I want to know specifically what you think, or Mike, I want to know specifically what you think. And we always joke about it. I promise my feelings were
yeah, it's all right. No, it's all right. It's all right. Fuck that. Don't be apologizing and shit. I mean, what you think? We ain't prison. It's all right.
DJ Ira, thanks, buddy. Says, greetings, gentlemen. John Carpenter's Vampires reboot. Thoughts? Unless John Carpenter's Vampires reboot.
I think it's perfect. Yeah, well, I feel like Vampires is perfect the way it is.
Yeah.
James Woods. I mean, dude, it's incredible. Plus, you got fucking Terry Silver as the main bad guy, the main villain, the main vampire. How can you beat that? Terry Silver from Karate Kid Part 3 is the vampire. It's perfect.
I like it. Let's make it a Netflix show. No,
Jack. Oh,
the first half.
Cross. You could make it a Netflix series.
The first half of that movie fucking ruled. I don't love
it.
No,
if they actually did a series on that would actually be pretty dope. If they did a good, like they told how Jack became Jack, and then showcase how he tracks different nests through different parts of the world, that'd be pretty cool.
I'd be into that. Awesome.
But I wouldn't. The movie would not be good.
Who says Halloween 1978? Lonnie and friends see Michael kick him in the nards. Lonnie sees the shape who hunches over Boogeyman has nards. Loomis laughs.
I like it.
Okay, I had to piece that together for a second, Austin. I was just saying there, dude. You imagine the kids from
Monster Squad
against Michael Myers. That should be funny as fuck.
Yeah,
that should be funny as hell.
What was it? What's the main kid's name again in Monster Squad? I love that fucking movie. I can't remember. Sean is like, what, Eugene? Michael stole my Twinkie. Instead of Creature stole my Twinkie, he's like, Michael stole my Twinkie. Because Michael just popped up from the pond and grabbed his Twinkie and then left.
Jarette, I hope I'm saying your name right, man. Jarette, I think it's just Jarette. I'm illiterate, so I'm a fucking idiot. I think it's Jarette Barnett, which is a badass name, by the way. That just rolls off the tongue when you say it like that.
I like it a lot.
Says, and thank you, by the way. Says they should avoid rehashing too many villains in this universe. Don't retread Joker / Harley. Go with new rogues, Court of Owls, Hugo Strange, or Hush. Grounded Mr. Freeze doesn't sound bad either. Yeah, Mr. Freeze has only been done once theatrically.
And Arnold did such a great job. And it really was a moving performance, especially when he said, you know what killed the dinosaurs, the Ice Age. I was really just moved. My heart bled because it was so much emotional emotional damage. No, yeah. Victor, yeah, like for sure. A Mr. Freeze done right would be an incredible emotional story line if they ever got around to doing it. I mean, they redeemed the Riddler with Paul Dano. They could redeem Mr. Freeze.
That's a good point too. Yeah, and we totally agree with you, dude. Like, I think I said Barrett, didn't I? Barnett, excuse me. But like, totally agree, man. There's the rogue gallery of Batman is fucking beautiful, and there's a reason why, despite so many of these Batmans being good, he's constantly overshadowed by villains because that's why you're getting great actors coming to these movies because like there's a lot to chew on. These comics were written really fucking well,
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, it's because and I know there's corporate involvement. They're like, which villain sells the most money? Let's just always pick the name brand ones. I was like, what's wrong with fucking like Adidas?
Yeah, hey, you Reebok, can play with some VR troopers.
What's wrong with that shit? I like Adidas and I like Reebok, and and I also kind of like starters sometimes.
Yeah, paint that motherfucking VR trooper red, pretend it's a fucking Power Ranger.
Okay, yeah. So your idea is the main villain should be Man-Bat. I'm like, yeah, and yours? Go back and try to fuck your secretary, you bitch. No, I mean, man, like, dude, there's a lot of villains I would love to see on screen, that they could play with and would be great.
Yeah. But I think it's that same old analogy. Like if you're Matt Reeves or whoever's in charge and you're sitting there looking at the toy chest, you're like, I'm just going to play with Man-Bat over here. But that Joker toy is just fucking like, oh man.
Dude, it just stares at you. It taunts you. It's like, here my lap.
Yeah. So I do get it. JD, once again, McDonald's, Hardee's, fucking not Burger King.
Hardee's, bitch. Now this is my burger bringing Big Boy in.
Hey, Burger King's got a good croissant, which aside from that, their Coke tastes like it has syrup and ass in it. Let's go with the Hardee's for JD with the fucking backdrop.
Let's do that.
do the JD money dance, motherfucker. He says, "Hey, gentlemen, I agree
I
with
would,
what
but
Jay
I'm
said.
white and I don't know how to do that.
Do my money dance.
Mine would be like,
just fucking hula hoop.
sounds like
do
I'm
the
dancing.
Beavis thing.
No, I'm dancing to I promise you I will. Like this is you guys probably don't know. It's a white song. It's
I'm a slow
Rome.
dance guy.
This is yeah. It's not really.
Yeah, I'm definitely
it's
not a
super
fast
white
dance
song.
guy. Can't do it. Hey, gentlemen, I agree with what Jay said about seeing how Riddler got his henchmen. It lent to how much it felt like BTAS with all the ground level fights. Also, totally agree about letting Joker alone and going with Hugo Strange or Victor Zsasz, etc. Yeah, I think, and it's weird, dude. Like, when we say that, like, you would almost expect a bunch of people, like, no, dude, the Joker's fucking awesome. Let's go, Joker. But like, most people are
They
like,
listen to ICP constantly. That's why they're saying it. And Wednesday 13.
I I think most fans agree with us that like we've seen enough Joker and Joker's been done to perfection. It's like when they remake a great fucking movie. Remake a bad movie that was a great idea that the dude fucked up. You know what I mean? Like we've had great Jokers. Show us a great fucking Hugo Strange and all that. Totally agree, dude.
Yeah, and as far as the and again the henchman idea that with the Riddler, like what's scary about that, and you know what you get a lot of praise that go onto Nolan movies is because how grounded and realistic it seems. The Reeves universe is no different. I feel like what Reeves created is it does feel like this could happen. Like this type of scenario could actually happen in the world. And then you have something like a crazy fucker that gets his uniform from an army in surplus that looks very much like a Zodiac killer, and then recruits out of their fucking mind morons to be like, the government dies tonight. Government dies tonight instead of evil dies tonight. That's what they're fucking chanting. And then they go in and attack when the mayor's getting sworn in.
Dude, Chris Hollywood just blew my fucking mind. John Hamm as Two-Face, Harvey Dent, fucking perfection, dude. John Hamm.
If he's out of legal trouble, sure.
Now, I don't think they necessarily need to do Two-Face right now because we've got 2 iterations of that. Neither of them good, in my opinion. But John Hamm, I'm fucking on.
I think that you could do. Aaron Eckhart would have been fine if the movie hadn't had already Joker in it. I think that what you need to do is if you're going to tell the Heath Ledger, if you're going to tell the Harvey Dent story, I think you need to start what they did with what Tim Burton started in the first Batman. You need to build up Harvey Dent. Because Harvey Dent was introduced in Batman 89. If they had built him up in Returns and then they finally brought him in Forever, a lot more impactful, especially if in Batman Returns he had like more interaction with Bruce Wayne, becoming friends, all that kind of shit. You got to do that with Two-Face. Two-Face is an incredible villain, and actually Two-Face is deserving of a redemption arc, much like Riddler was and Mr. Freeze. I think that Two-Face is another one that definitely deserves, because he's also a very scary character and also a very heartbreaking one at the same time.
Yeah. I find it weird we got 2 versions of Falcone, by the way. I like John Turturro as Falcone. I think he was fine, but I don't think that, like, John Turturro is amazing in everything John Turturro does. So, like,
every time I think of him, dude, I always think of Rounders. It's like, yeah, I know. I drive a truck, but I do it about.
Let me stake you. But, like, that being said, like, I don't think John Turturro as Falcone was anything that great here. I think it was just a solid John Turturro performance, which is great. But like, I actually kind of think that the dude that played Falcone in Batman Begins was a little bit better for me. It was like begged like a dog. Like I like that guy better.
But the thing about the guy in the Batman Begins, it almost felt like the guy in the Batman Begins was just cosplaying a guy that was trying to do a really bad Italian mafia dude. And John Turturro was actually a mafia guy playing an actual mafia guy. Like there wasn't like any kind
of
any kind of panache. It was just like the way he talked and his voice was kind of low. If I were in a fucking dealings with the mafia, which fuck that, but if I ever like had to deal with the Italian mob or whatever, that guy would be the John Turturro would be the guy I'd probably have to run into. Not the guy I'd be like a dog.
See, I kind of think John Turturro kind of just looks like the dude who like gives you the number when you're checking out to like try on clothes at Marshall's, and it's like, how many clothes you got there? 3? Yeah, here's the 3. You got 3. Go. Your dressing room's right around the corner there. Like he didn't. There was nothing like mobbish about him to me.
I would probably come back to that shop. if he were doing that, but
no, he'd be amazing at the job.
but no,
yeah, I just didn't.
There's something about him. I feel like his performance is so relaxed. I don't know. Like he feels more like he's not overcompensating. He's dangerous, and you know he's dangerous, and you don't know really what the fuck he'd do if you confront him with a question that he doesn't like. Whereas the other guy, he already comes off as kind of a mean douchebag, and you kind of already know that he's going to slap you in the face and tell you get the fuck out of my goddamn bar. And there's judges and all that. He's kind of trying to show his dick. The other guy, John Turturro's Carmine, is just like, I don't need to show you my dick. You know I'll fuck you up. And you also see I got Penguin working for me. I got these rough and tumble kind of guys working for me. Why do you think they're scared of me? They're not scared of me because I'm like a boisterous dude.
He just never did it for. I don't know. Like when he walks, he's like, you know how much this sweater costs? $1,353.97.
I think you know what I love John Turturro. You just want John Turturro to be a good guy because he always seems like a guy that wants to be redeemed.
I don't dislike at all his Falcone. Like I really don't. Like I just don't think it was. I've seen some people being like, "Fucking Turturro, dude," and I'm like,
yeah.
Well,
you know what it is? I think that also that's another thing. I think that the Carmine and the Maroni and all that stuff, and they're obviously really good for a reason, and they're really rich stories, and they're a very easy way to use an angle to get the Batman story told in. But at the same time, like you could have let that alone too. I mean, it doesn't always have to be a mob focused kind of story, which I understand because they needed to use it to bring Penguin in, which is obviously the quickest way to do it. But when you do the mob angle and it's already been done, I mean, they only really did it in the Nolan trilogy, but it was just in the Nolan trilogy. So it just happened not long ago. So you kind of use it again as a vehicle to get your Batman story told. It comes across, and I'm not, again, this is my favorite Batman movie. I'm just going to reiterate that, but it does come across as very much like Punisher. Like Punisher's idea is that the mob killed his fucking family and he's going after the mob. That makes total sense. And that's why every Punisher movie is revolved around the mob. But when you do that, I think what happens is you sacrifice so many other stories that could be told early on in Batman's career that he wouldn't just be going after the mob. The mob could be peripheral, right? He could be taking down henchmen of the mob, and that's where you could introduce Penguin, who was the second, the right-hand man of Carmine in this. You could introduce Black Mask. You could introduce other characters that he's trying to take down, and only the mob is peripheral, and then you get into the mob story later.
Well, but therein lies my exact main problem with the film, and I still had it the second time I watched it. I think that the main problem with this movie is that I have no problem with the movie being 3 hours long. All right, if it's worth it, and if
20 minutes needs to be cut out though.
Yeah, like it does, but and here's my thing: like if you're spending that time wisely, and I'm really invested in it, no fucking problem with a 3 hour movie. Cool, great. I wish but here's the thing: the problem is that they spent all this time on this investigation shit, right? And there was no crazy investigative revelations for me. Like this was just like, yeah, dude, like I felt like the big reveals were like, oh my God, the cops in Gotham are corrupt. And I'm like, bitch, we know that shit. They've always been fucking corrupt. You know what I mean? Like, I know that fucking the cops work for Falcone. I know everybody in Gotham.
I know that. I know that they were always corrupt.
Like in every fucking so you're watching him investigate and try to put together this and that, and I'm like, dude, I knew the answer the entire time. So sometimes I feel like an entire Riddler death could have been cut out, or kill scene. The dude with the rat cage on his fucking head, like that entire Saw trap thing, literally could have taken out of the movie.
What though?
He likes to work out at the gym.
No, I'd have gone full Monty, dude. Like, let me see it. Like, let's get nasty with it. If you're already playing,
but they couldn't because they made it PG fucking 13.
I know, but you are playing that game. Let's get naughty, bitch. Take off them fucking them bra and panties, and let's get crazy in the mud. Because you know what? At that point, I'd be like, hey, you're already there. You're almost there, right? Just go ahead and kiss that girl. It's like trying to get two girls to kiss. You're like, go ahead and kiss her. You're already right there. Because here's the thing: when they showed that, and I saw it, and it was so fucking stupid. By the way, I'm not nothing against them. I just think they're kind of hacks. Watch Mojo. They did a top 10 scenes that went too far, according to fans. And that was one of the Riddler scene with the rats going in his mouth. I was like, bitch, you ain't seen nothing. Like nothing. You didn't see anything.
They said that went too fucking far.
Yes, it went. They said it went. They said, well, they compared it to the scene in The Dark Knight when the Dark Knight puts the the rope around the one guy and throws him out the building, and it pops against the screen because he lynched him. That was a great scene. But they said that that was so gruesome and graphic that it like the Riddler scene where the rat's going into his mouth is more disturbing. I'm like, you didn't see it. Like you were aware of it,
I
but
didn't
you
even
didn't
stop
see it.
eating my fucking juju beads and popcorn for that
I was
shit.
like, bitch, stay away from the Kool-Aid because somebody spiked your drink. Because you're drunk. Like I'll tell you what would have made this movie. I think, and again, I mean, not everything has to be dark and terrible and disturbing. And yeah, I get it. But if you're gonna go the route that they went through in this movie, just make the bitch rated R and let's get down to it. Let's get down to it.
Don't know why.
I gotta go pee though, by the way.
Yeah, okay, yeah. If you want to go and pee, I'll continue bitching about
right.
what I was going to bitch about,
Okay.
and then
I'll be back.
I'll go when you come back. But yeah, like so, and I said this before, like so. If you guys know, I caught a bunch of shit after doing our initial movie review because let me say first, I fucking love this movie. I thought it was awesome. I thought it crushed. It was fucking. I had a great time. Like really good fucking movie, right? Not probably definitely not going to be in my top 2, 3 or so Batman films. That's more so because the Batman's brought some really good fucking movies. You know what I mean? I gave it an 8.5 and I caught so much shit for it not being my favorite fucking Batman movie. I went back last night and watched it again. I was like, I need to make sure. I was kind of in a bad mood. I was tired. So I went back and watched it in a good mood, fresh, feeling good. Took in a second viewing and felt the exact same way afterwards. Like, I love this movie. I thought what Matt Reeves created, making it different, making it noir, making it David Fincher's, making it dark. I loved all that as much as anybody would expect. I would love it because David Fincher's my favorite director of all time. I thought Pattinson in the suit was fucking great. Love the fucking Penguin. Love fucking Dano. Loved all the shit everybody loves about this movie. But I also saw problems with it. So that's my only reason why it's not one of my absolute top favorites is because, and it's 8.5 instead of a 10 or whatever, because look, again, the running time, it's fine, but it was unnecessary. Like, you could have cut that Riddler shit down. You could have taken literally that one dude's entire death, the dude who he goes to the gym, could have taken that out easily, gone from the movie, wouldn't have affected nothing. You didn't show the death. There was just nothing really cool that happened there. Batman found the note to the Batman. Like we did that 4 times. I didn't think the clues from the Riddler were all that special. They were fine, but there was nothing amazing there. I loved the typing scene when he has to go to, he's like URL or whatever, and he went to that. That was really cool with that old MS-DOS. It reminded me of the whole I can't do that, Dave thing. So that's really cool. But on the other side of that, Batman, for as much as they're saying, no, he's a detective in this one, world's greatest detective, they finally show it. They ran into a rock and a hard place because they're like, we're doing early Batman, so he fucks up a lot. But also, we've been telling people we're going to show off what a great detective he is. And they did in scenes. They showed off what a great detective it is. But he also did some dumb shit. The whole Lorata thing, like, I don't understand how he could answer Riddler's fucking questions like this every single fucking, like, in a second. Be like, justice, whatever fucking thing. But not figure out the Lorata that he could have possibly been talking about a bat with wings and all that shit like that. Even the Penguin was like, well, you not fucking speak Spanish? Fucking love that. You know what I mean? That whole thing is like, yeah, that kind of makes him look a little stupid right there. And tiny things like that. And it was definitely 20 minutes too long. There's just no doubt about that to me. Very easily 20 minutes too long. And also the action scenes, I like how mean fucking Batman is. I like that when he hits people in this, you can fucking hear it. Probably my favorite part about the fighting scenes. That being said, they didn't do a whole lot with it. He would go in and he beat up a couple henchmen. Like, I don't want to compare this to every other movie, but like, if you're going to do something new and the whole look was new and the feel was new and the noir stuff and the something in the way and all that, love that. Love what you did new with that. But why didn't you change up the fight scenes a little bit? Why are we still doing the same nightclub fight scene we saw him do in the other movie when he goes in, he fucking beats up a couple people? Why are we still doing the Dark Knight Rises scene where he's in a hallway and they're shooting their guns and like he pops up and fucking, why are we doing the same thing? I like, again, when he goes and beats the fuck out of people, you feel the hits, but Batman's still kind of doing the same fighting style for the most part. So, stuff I loved about the fighting scenes when he hits himself with the juice and gets up and it's just fucking that dude up. Great. One of the best fighting scenes in the movie was in the trailer. The whole, when he beats the fuck out of the guy, and he's like, I am vengeance. They could have compounded on that. There was no fucking warehouse scene in this for me, like from Batman vs Superman. So again, I loved how gnarly he was and like how you felt the punches and stuff. But if you go back and look at it with a microscope, there's like actually the fight scenes not that amazing. So and I know like this, everybody, this is the fucking best thing ever that's ever happened, and I'm catching a lot of shit for it right now. But I went back and watched it again just to make sure, and I was like, no, I actually feel the same way again. We hover. The camera hovers a fucking lot in this movie on shit that it just doesn't need to hover on, and waste a lot of fucking time. And it's doing a lot of shit we've seen before, doing it well, doing it well. But you know, and again, I don't love that we don't get that much Bruce Wayne. I understand that this is he just wants to be Batman all the fucking time, and he's obsessed with that. I like that. But if you're gonna do that, talk about it a little bit. Like, go into detail on that. Like, I can't be Bruce. Like, I need to do this because I'm obsessed. I feel like they barely put the tip in on that whole his obsession with Batman. Like, they said it for a second, they showed it a little bit, but for the most part, I don't think they really delved deep into that psyche like they promised, or they could have done. And lastly, I feel like the rumors about Robert Pattinson not fucking wanting to work out are fucking true. Because when the dude takes his shirt off, all right, they made it a point like, hey, let's show those back muscles while he's fucking doing this, like with the lights perfectly on him while he's doing this, because that's the only muscles on that dude's body. I mean, he just, as Bruce Wayne, I'm like, man, this Batman's badass. I'm loving this. And he takes off the mask, and I'm like, where the fuck did this fucking emo come from? And I love emo, but I'm not afraid of an emo when I walk down a dark alleyway after committing a crime. You know what I mean? Just, by the way, what did you think about that? Like, I think the rumors about Pattinson not wanting to work out were fucking true, dude. He had no muscle.
Well, yeah, I also, but I don't know if it was, I feel like, again, I'm going to go ahead and point this out. I think it was also, I think that everything happened in this movie was intentional. I feel like he wasn't supposed to be like a super duper in shape kind of guy. I think that he was also like, the thing about Robert Pattinson's Batman in this, what I really liked about it was the fact that he was still I know he was in his late 20s, supposedly early, but he was full of anger. That's all he was. He didn't give a shit about anything else except doing, being the Batman. So I don't know. I don't think he, constantly hit the gym. He was just like constantly hitting the streets and beating ass. Like, he didn't think about like going to work out at like, total gym for 6 hours a day. But I don't know if it was like,
I just don't understand how you expect the audience to believe he could beat up a group of fucking thugs
when he could have been. Well, because if you look at, there's certain people that aren't like in great shape, but they could fuck you up. I mean, they know martial arts and shit.
I guess, I mean, the suit is where I took from that. Like, the suit was doing a lot of the work in those scenes, and that's how I believe.
Well, he also invested a lot in Spanx.
Well, he was in shape. He's in better shape than I'll ever be in my life.
By the way, Robert Pattinson, and dude, he's got to be the tallest Batman. He's 6'3". So he was definitely bringing that thunder from above.
Yeah, that's true. That does matter. All right, I'm gonna go piss. And by the way, guys, I just spent that entire time Jay was going on because we want to talk spoilers. I just want to talk about reiterating some of the stuff I saw wrong with it. I love the fucking movie. It's a fucking 8.5 for me. I thought it was an amazing movie. It's my favorite movie I've seen so far this entire year. It'll probably stay really high on the list. Except
for when Morbius comes out, that Jared Leto fucking cult loving son of a bitch.
I
gotta be honest. I'm looking forward to Morbius because it could be really good. Because I'm telling you, because that seems like what fucking Jared Leto does in real life. He just sucks people's like fucking veins and shit and says he's a vampire.
That does make sense. The last thing I want to say about it is the flying scene, because that's what reminded me of, because of that Morbius trailer when he looks like a squirrel flying down the fucking tunnels or whatever. He looks stupid. The flying scene with Batman when he escapes the cops.
I love that.
Dude, I thought it looked corny as shit when his head is like up here and he's like, ooh.
Well, yeah, the way they shot it, but I loved they showed the inexperience though. They loved that
I like that.
He didn't understand. Like,
I thought it was
I ain't worked at the aerodynamics yet. He's like, I should have thought about this shit more. Like, that's a rookie mistake. Yeah, you look like a rookie. Like,
and look, and people are saying it was April actually said Jackie Chan small and he could fuck people up. Yeah, but you put Jackie Chan in a Batman costume, would you believe that it was Batman? No, you wouldn't.
No, but I believe that. I believe that's Super Cop. From the movie Super Cop.
Rumble in the Gotham.
By the way, if you guys ever want to see a good Jackie Chan movie, watch Super Cop. That movie's badass. And Rumble in the Bronx, some good shit.
It's fucking awesome. All right, I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I don't have a lot of complaints. I can't really name my complaints that I have for it because I gotta wait for Mike to get back so we can really get into that cake. But yeah, as far as Robert Pattinson, and I know there was a lot of, I remember what Mike had mentioned, and I'd read the same articles that Robert Pattinson refused to work out, that he didn't work out. I actually watched an interview with him though, and he said that he was working out in between sets. I mean, maybe he just wasn't putting on the muscle mass that people are used to. And you look at someone like, the last Batman that you saw was Ben Affleck, and he was just a monstrous brute. But even Ben Affleck said that he was hitting the gym like 6 days a week for like 9 to 12 hours a day or whatever, and just fucking like saying, fuck it. Steroids, yeah, I like them. They like candy. So, but I still think overall Robert Pattinson looked good. I mean, as a tall, sort of muscular Batman, that's all right. Tomo Ogata says, Ben Affleck hit the juice. I think so, but that's fine. So did Sylvester Stallone. He definitely did, because Sylvester Stallone said that for I think Rambo 4, he went to another country or whatever to use the steroids because it was illegal here. So I mean, 100%. Courtney, yeah, you're right. Affleck was big, and the bat suit was built to make him look even bigger. That's another thing. Yeah, so the bat suit had a lot to do with it, but it's not all that. But Robert Pattinson, I feel like Michael Keaton wasn't fucking in shape or ripped. I mean, he was a small little dude from, Mr. Mom, and he was able to whoop that ass. So it's all right. LA Max at 97. Did Jay say cake? What kind? Strawberry. That's some good stuff. Sean Turner says this movie was fucking awesome. Dude, I 100% agree. And again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say this on record. Courtney Reed and myself and a few of you other fine gentlemen and ladies are on this hill with us. We said before the movie came out that we were going to die on the hill and say this is going to be the greatest Batman movie to ever come out. And I'm still there. And Courtney Reed is still there. And like I said, this fine collection of great people are still at the top of this hill saying it's the greatest Batman movie of all time. I really like it a lot. I mean, really, when I left the theater and I was literally still thinking about how good this movie was, it really just stuck with me in a way, because it was everything that I wanted from a Batman movie, and Robert Pattinson nailed every single aspect of a Batman early in his career that I wanted to see happen on screen. And the thing about, and again, I know a lot of people were just mad about it. They were like, well, the Bruce Wayne thing. Again, I feel like people, they're just not understanding that the reason why he's not Bruce Wayne, or that there's not a lot of Bruce Wayne, is that Bruce Wayne is secondary to him. Batman is so full of just anger and hate and rage and vengeance that he doesn't give a shit about being Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne to him is something that does nothing for the city and never will do anything for the city, and is not capable of doing anything for the city. So he retreats into the darkness, into the mask of the Batman. And that's the only way that he thinks he can affect change. So yeah, I don't know, but we'll get more into that, I'm sure. But I mean, everybody's got to have their different idea of what a perfect Batman is. Hey, Chuck's in here. Happy birthday, man. Chuck, fuck. Happy birthday, dude. But as far as like other Batman that have come along, I mean, for me, he's not gonna be Bel. I mean, I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of people that love Bel's big old ding dong, and they suck it as much as they can, but I think Bel was a product of a great script by Nolan, and also a product of a great supporting cast that Nolan had used for the trilogy. I'm not saying Bel was a bad Batman necessarily, but he was not my favorite. Behind, for me, Robert Pattinson, I'd put Affleck, and Keaton is up there just for nostalgic reasons. Val Kilmer is really high on that list too. And then Bel would come later. But first off, I'm also not going to rule out the fact that we're not going to get a good Bruce Wayne from Robert Pattinson, just because at the end of this movie, when you see, and I'm sure, and I'll talk to Mike about this. I loved it at the end of this movie when Batman, Robert Pattinson's Batman, realizes that he has to be more than just vengeance. When he takes off the mask of one of the henchmen from Riddler, and the Riddler's man says, "I'm vengeance," and then Batman's kind of stunned, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And it all just kind of clicks into his mind. He's like, "I can't just be consumed by rage any longer. I just can't be this avenging angel only. I have to be more than that. I have to be hope. I have to be a symbol of good, as well as a balance to that vengeance." and then after leading the people out from the destroyed government building, and then you see him putting people on rescue helicopters at the end of the movie. I just feel like that was great. I really do. I liked the direction, because it was like Batman growing up, and you could see Robert Pattinson's character, the Robert Pattinson's Batman, accepting that he can be both. He can be Batman and he can be Bruce Wayne, and he needs to be more to have Batman last, and not just a tool of vengeance. But anyway, it's just getting really deep. The Jaeger Bomb, thank you so much. He says, will WB mess this universe up in past decisions? I mean, I don't really watch the WB, so I'm just gonna say fuck that. They better, but they could, yeah, they could totally mess up the the direction of this Batman if they wanted to, but hopefully they won't, and they stay in their lane. But yeah, the WB can fuck up a lot of things, but I don't think they're gonna mess with Batman right now. Creed Brian, J John 84 says, I love the character felt. Me too, man. I thought they did a really good job. I feel like it was not like, it was so subtle, but it was so obviously there, and that Robert Pattinson was such a great actor that he was able to convey that development in a way that was just really streamlined and really well done. Is there a confirmed sequel? Creed Brian asks. I think, I'm not 100% sure. Well, they're doing a Penguin prequel on HBO Max. So if they're doing that, and they're going to have Colin Farrell come back as Penguin in a HBO Max series, I'm sure that Matt Reeves is going to come back out and do a sequel to this movie. And this movie is going to make a shit ton of money. So Warner Brothers isn't going to be like, nah, they're not going to not fund it.
Yeah, dude, I think there's definitely going to be a sequel. I think it'll be years before we get it, though. I don't think.
Well, I do agree with some. I don't remember who said that, but they need to keep this separate from the DCEU, just like they need to keep Joaquin's separate from the DCEU. This is what's so fun about DC, and I just want to go ahead and say this, because whether Mike and I agree with it or not, about it's my favorite Batman movie, it's not his favorite Batman movie, or even if you guys are out there that it might not be yours, or it could be your favorite Batman movie, what we all can agree on is this is what makes DC so great, is they can go out on their own and tell these stories. They can take some of their most popular characters and tell these one-off stories that are just fucking incredible, so awesome. There's so many different nuances to each film, and they can do that for as much as they want, and they don't all have to fall under the Mickey Mouse dick that what MCU does. Mm-hmm. It doesn't all have to connect to each other, and there has to be this big overarching universe. I'm not saying that MCU is doing it wrong or anything, but this is where DC is unique, that you can tell several different stories with several different characters that have nothing to do with the overall arcing story they're telling, and get away with it. And Marvel has just never done that, and they never will.
The guy who runs Warner Brothers or whatever now came out and said, like, I think it was just like today or yesterday, he was like, we're gonna start focusing on more on separate stories and like director driven stuff, like stuff like this. And
I love that.
Dude, how many times did you and I say that? Like,
well, we said that. Well, before, back in the day, they said they were going to come out with something called DC Black Label or whatever. Yeah. It was going to be called Black, and it was going to be nothing but that. That was the whole idea.
We've always said that that's the way to go. Like, that's what they should do. I mean, like, I think it's for sure the way to fucking go, and I hope they do. P said, I don't know, did you get any super chats while I was gone?
I got the one that, do you think that WB would mess this up?
Oh, okay. And knowing them, they may, but
I thought he meant WB. That, like, I mean, I guess I was thinking of the Flash show and shit like that. I was thinking like I wasn't thinking of like Warner
CW.
Brothers or CW, but I know, Warner Brothers could fuck this up. But I think that Warner Brothers, as long as they stay out of the studio, which I think if they stay out of like studio involvement, which I think they will, they saw less studio involvement makes a great trilogy. Nolan had a great trilogy. They let Matt Reeves tell his fucking story, let him tell his trilogy. They stay out of it. I think they're going to be better for it. And maybe they're learning. Maybe they're fucking learning. I don't know. I doubt it, because they let go of Henry Cavill. But
yeah, my only wish is that they would have realized this sooner. I mean, like, you let Matt Reeves have a 3-hour movie, this crazy, wild, cool, dark noir take, and then like you cut so much out of Batman versus Superman, they had to release an extended cut just to make it make fucking sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because he wanted 10 extra minutes of footage.
And you want to be a tampon bitch and not let everybody know that the HBO Max exclusive Zack Snyder's Justice League definitely sold more subscriptions than they ever intended, and it made a shit ton of fucking money. But they want to be, like I said, tampon hose and act like it doesn't. Oh, I didn't do anything because they won't release the numbers.
No, I
mean, you guys have some weird hate against Snyder. I don't understand. But by the way, I want to. This is another spoiler we haven't got to, and I do want to talk about this though. What did you think about? Because I think it was fucking god awful. And by the way, the movies, I can still disagree with certain things in the movie and still love it.
Mm-hmm.
That Carmine's daughter was Catwoman. It's fucking stupid.
And they made it fucking confusing as shit, dude. I watched it twice, and I still don't know. Did he know she was his daughter? Did he not know she was his daughter?
No, he knew. No, he knew. He knew.
But then at the end, why when she shoots him, does she go, Dad? And he looks at her and she's like, I'm so and so's daughter. And he looks surprised. Like, why did remember?
Well, that might have just been him. I don't know. He probably shouldn't have acted surprised, because the way that I felt that John Turturro, Carmine already knew that was his daughter and treated her extra special. And but no, I think what he might have been shocked at is that she actually called him dad, because she had never said that. There'd always been this mutual understanding of like, I know I'm your dad, you know I'm, but
I would have thought that
bring
too.
it up.
But she explains it. She's like, you remember so whatever name was Kyle? That was my mom and whatever. Like, I was so confused. I was like, did he not know? Did he just want to bang her and he just now realized she was his daughter? Like, it was confusing.
I think he knew. I think that was just that's just dumb. Like, it almost felt like they needed a reason really to tie Catwoman into the story in some significant way, and that was the only way to do it. I'm like, that's just dumb.
Yeah.
I was like, if you guys can't even figure out a way to really put Catwoman in it, just don't have her in it.
Yeah. And you're right. And by the way, what you were saying before too, I want to reiterate also, like, you're absolutely right. We both, just to reiterate, we both think this is a great movie. You rank it higher, but I also think it was fucking awesome, dude. Like, Jesus Christ, like the Noor stuff, like, man, when he's riding the motorcycle in the beginning so and something in the way kicks in, good. Tingles in my bangles. Like, that was amazing. Like,
it looked like a Nirvana video.
Like, and Batman steps, like when you hear him walking and coming up to people, fucking intimidating as fuck.
I said, and I still do. It's like for me when you hear RoboCop coming into the scene, that boom, boom, boom. The sound editing on this, unfucking real,
dude,
because they took Batman and made him so goddamn intimidating, because those footfalls, boom. Boom. Yeah. Again, it was like RoboCop. It's like because they knew when you heard RoboCop coming in, your nuts is fucked.
Yeah.
Like he's going to shoot you through the nuts. Madam, you have suffered a shock. I've notified EMS.
The sound of the Batmobile, the sound of the punches. And again, I want to read it. I didn't love the fight scenes. I thought how brutal it felt was amazing, but like the choreography was not that great. In a world where we have John Wick and shit like that and the crazy stuff that they do, what you could do with the Batman, they really, I feel like, didn't go all the way. But like the sound of the punches and shit was amazing. The sound of the footsteps. You're right, dude. The sound was fucking top notch.
Whoever did the sound editing deserves a fucking Academy. Like, I mean, it was really, really on point. Well,
it's my favorite score of all the Batmans too.
It was really, the score was, I like the choreograph, because the choreograph to me on the fight scenes in this, the only other time you had seen any like significant when Batman's beating that ass and you're like, that looks like it fucking hurts, because again, it goes back to the sound editing, was Ben Affleck's Batman in BVS. Christopher Nolan's Batman, he has some great fight scenes, but it does look very much like a ballet. This one looks fucking brutal when Batman's fighting a villain, and especially in the Batman. It looks very similar to the Batman, maybe not as vicious, but up there. Because you look at Christopher Nolan's fight sequences.
I thought the choreography of the fight scenes, I thought they looked like straight out of the Nolan movies, though. But like the brutality of the hits when they land was.
I feel like that's what makes the difference. Is the sound editing was better.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, dude. And also, I did want to mention the other thing, and I know that someone brought this up. I don't remember where I read this. It could have been. I don't think it was, but so the actual ending, the climactic scene when Batman is fighting everybody on the top of that chandelier type thing, which, by the way, his entrance is fucking, I love that entrance when he goes and then he falls. It's like, holy shit, I didn't think my dick could get harder. And he comes in and he looks so fucking good. That lighting, and again, this movie is shot so beautifully. It looks so fucking good. The angles of them, the way they seem against their silhouettes. Woo-wee. And then when he lands and he fights, and then he gets shot with that shotgun blast, and then he's like in pain. I was like, that's so fucking realistic, because this is still an early Batman, and he gets shot with that shotgun blast, and then Catwoman's she's gonna get fucked up, and then he injects himself, and I thought it was adrenaline, but
that's what I thought too. Was it not?
Well, no, well, yeah, I think it was, but they said if you look, because it's green, they're like, oh, it looks like the same venom that Bane uses, like especially
Oh,
specifically the comic book version. But that's like but I would almost say like that's like a liquefied steroid adrenaline slash thing, like a mixture. But it does. Remember, it's a little green, and then he injects himself into the
yeah.
fucking leg, dude. And then he goes, oh, that's the
That's
greatest
so
fucking
fucking
rush,
sick.
and it was all
Yeah.
silent, and he beats the fuck out of that guy. I'm like, I was like, oh
Oh, dude,
shit,
I just
like I
thought
gotta
of
go to the
this.
bathroom.
I just thought of this. That's really fucking interesting because you remember the scene where he comes in, and by the way, I know we're on a tangent, we're going all over the place, but this is just kind of what we do with spoiler reviews. The scene where he comes back and he's doing he's talking, and I love that dialogue or whatever. But he's like he takes the cameras out, and he's like, sometimes the adrenaline is so intense or whatever, I don't remember anything. I have to watch
Yeah,
it back the next. Love that. But that could add to it. Maybe that's how they made up for the fact that he's not a very physical as Bruce Wayne, intimidating person, but he's juicing. Basically, he's taking the shit, and
well,
like
that
it
makes
gets him so
that's
revved up
you know what? I'll
that
be honest with you, that's more realistic than Nolan. If
it's
somebody was like injecting themselves with like fucking like an adrenaline shot to keep themselves
yeah.
going, or some kind of painkiller, that
Mhm.
makes total fucking sense as far as a real life guy. By the way, I gotta point out because I was telling the folks while you were gone, Michael Keaton wasn't a big dude either, and he had no abs or anything like that, and he was still whooping that ass, and he was short as fuck. He was like 5'8".
Right, but I just think that I think that 1989 version of Batman is just so different from what you expect today. Bale wasn't a big dude, but he put on the weight to make it at least believable
Well,
that
you know
he could
what?
be
I
doing
feel
that
like
shit.
I feel like what it is we got spoiled because we got Ben Affleck, who was a giant monster.
Yeah.
He was a
I just
giant fucking monster.
And I don't, and again, I don't need Batman to be fucking huge and like stacked or whatever. I just thought that I couldn't help but notice, dude. And again, just one of the problems I have with the movie. I think that like, and I'm sure he'll have a chance to redeem himself because this was supposed to be he's all about Batman,
Yeah.
but this is the worst Bruce Wayne of the fucking
Well, and again,
franchise. Like,
I would agree if it was on purpose and it was like the worst Bruce Wayne, but I feel like this was like if they were intentionally trying to make Bruce Wayne bad or
mhm,
whatever, or if it was a byproduct of the script, but it was intentional to make him not be a good Bruce Wayne because he doesn't. You know what I feel like his Bruce Wayne and Batman go back to, and it popped in my head earlier today, and I was like, that's fucking it. He hadn't got to that point yet. Do you remember in Batman Forever when Val Kilmer is confronting Riddler and he says, poor
Kilmer
Edward.
also not a big dude, by the way. Sorry,
No, he
go ahead.
wasn't. Well, he was pretty good shape. But when Kilmer says poor Edward, and he was like, he goes, I'm both Batman and Bruce Wayne, not because I have to be, but because I
Mhm.
choose to be.
Yeah,
So obviously, Robert Pattinson's Batman hasn't got to that understanding yet. He doesn't have to be Bruce Wayne and Batman. He chooses to be. And I
I
feel like
understand.
no, I feel like the arc is going to continue into the second movie.
Well,
Kind of
that's
like
what I'm saying, though.
remember Man of Steel? Because everybody, when we saw Man of Steel, everybody was bitching
Mhm.
about Superman killing people and
Yeah,
he doesn't care.
yeah.
And it was all just a part of his arc.
Mhm. Well, that's what I was saying. I even prefaced it by saying, like, in the future they'll be able to change this. I get, like, I totally understand that, and I don't mind that. I like that, but what I guess I phrased it wrong. What I mean is when they show him in the Batcave, shirtless, walking around,
Yeah.
like they didn't show the Batcave barely at all. Like, and like just the way he looked, like even his face, like. I will give it this, by the way. When you watch a Batman movie, like 90% of the time, you have to suspend belief because it'd be so easy to be like, God damn, everybody would know that was
Yeah, that's
fucking
true. I
him.
mean, no, it would. I mean, it'd be easy. Yeah.
In this movie, this is the one movie where I could genuinely tell you nobody in Gotham would have ever guessed that that motherfucker was Batman.
Well,
You know what I mean? Like he did not look like
I'd agree
Batman.
with you, except for Bruce Wayne had been a recluse for years, like even more so than even
I
Nolan's
just mean the way he
Bruce Wayne.
looks when he is Bruce Wayne. You
No,
know?
yeah, I know the same looks, but yeah, yeah. I mean, look, when I saw him in the Batcave, which is it really isn't in the Batcave, it's a subway fucking tunnel. It's
Mhm.
not even really a Batcave. It's under the subway, which is
Yeah.
fine. But yeah, but honestly, I did the reason why I don't know why I generated so much, or I gravitated so much towards it is he's just a broken fucking dude. Like he doesn't give when he takes that mask off, it feels like he's being exposed to he just doesn't want to be in this world anymore. And he has to be now and again to eat a fucking sandwich or something and pretend
Mhm.
to be human, but he doesn't want to be. I feel like, yeah, no, I agree. I feel like it's definitely not a movie if you're looking for a good balance between Bruce Wayne and Batman. It's not a movie that people are going to enjoy if you're looking for that. But I feel like the second movie, if they do a second movie, if Reeves comes back and Robert Pattinson, I feel like Pattinson will kill the Bruce Wayne role when they finally figure out where the story's going to go. And they're like, all right, well, you're going to be that that crazy flamboyant kind of billionaire and go buy hotels and shit and have models jump into the pool like they did with the Nolan trilogy. But I feel like it's all coming. I feel like it's coming. I just feel like in this one, he's a disturbed, fucked up, angry young guy that doesn't know what to do with his family fortune. His parents got fucking killed, and he's like, I don't know what to do. I just know what I can do, and that's what I'm trying to do.
I think that's the main difference, and I see all that, and I actually like the idea that like he doesn't want to be Bruce Wayne, like he doesn't know how to be Bruce Wayne, he doesn't want to be.
Yeah,
he's obsessed with the Batman. There's two things about this. Number one, I wish they would have delved into that a little bit more. Like at the end when
they could have leaned into it. Yeah,
at the end when he's laying there and he's so fucking tired.
Yeah.
And she tells him, she's like, no, it's fine now. You can quit. Yeah. And he closes his eyes and he's so fucking exhausted, dude, that he passes out like right there. And then all of a sudden, when he wakes up and realizes she's in pain and he injects himself,
cool, that
badass, moment was one of my favorite moments of the film. And I feel like they should have harnessed that for the previous 2.5 hours of the fucking movie, but they didn't. I never really felt his pain. They told us he was in pain. They showed it, but they never really like capitalized on it.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I'll say about that, and we can cap the Bruce Wayne thing, is that I think that's the only place where I actually disagree is like, I think that they'll show more Bruce Wayne in the future, but when I see him as Bruce Wayne, when I see Robert Pattinson, the face, the way they showed Bruce Wayne, I have a hard time believing he's ever gonna be a good Bruce Wayne.
Well, I think what they're gonna do is
see it.
I think he's gonna have to get a haircut.
Yeah, he looks straight out of a manga.
You can't look like you smell your own farts in blacklight. Like because the way that he looks like he does look like an angsty teen that you would come over and play like Madden with, and then like you would look over and he like picked his butt and smelled it, and then he'd smoke weed. So he's gonna change. I think he's gonna, because I feel like this is his growing up, especially the end when he's helping people get onto transport helicopters. He grows up and he realizes he has to be more than just this big badass avenging angel. He has to be seen in the light. And the only way you can be seen in the light is you have to be Bruce Wayne. I feel like, but I would have leaned in a little bit more. Yeah, I could have, but then you might have had a 4.5 hour movie. Because if you had done that, because Andy Serkis, I would have leaned in more with the Bruce Wayne, and he tried. But also, you got to remember this particular version of Bruce Wayne's kind of an asshole. Like he's kind of a prick. Because when Alfred's talking to him, and he's like, "You can't just go in there without no cufflinks," and he's like, and he's like, "Your father gave me these." He's like, "When did you become a Wayne?" Cool? Yeah, I was like, "Fuck you, bitch! I wiped your ass. Like I fucking raised you." And he was like, "When did you become a Wayne?" I was like, "Since your dad liked me better and you're adopted." Like I don't know. I mean, I was just like, he was obviously like, and I understand. He's a hurt kid and he's angry and he's vengeful and he doesn't care about anything or anybody. But it's only until Alfred gets blown up, and then he's like, maybe then there's a small little moment in his head. He's like, I should start caring because these are the only people that give a fuck about me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And that scene was good, by the way, when he's talking to him and he's in there, he's like, I thought I mastered the fear of death. He's like, but I never mastered the fear of ever feeling that pain of losing someone I love again.
Yeah.
And when he reaches out his hand, that was a good scene. Like I liked that scene. That was good. Yeah. That was the only good like him and Batman scene I saw the entire movie.
I mean, other than that, as far as spoilers go, that's pretty much. I mean, the only thing that you need to know as far as spoiler goes is that, like the whole Riddler. The Riddler, his point or his plot is he wants to bring down a corrupt government. Like he thinks that everyone in Gotham is corrupt in some way or another, and he's right. I mean, the district attorney is corrupt. The commissioner, of Gotham is corrupt. The mayor is corrupt, and he does do freaky ass shit, and he wants to bring that down. And the entire time, he thinks that Batman is working with him, in which that. Again, this leads back to I think what Reeves is trying to do, and I think that Reeves is doing a pretty good job. It's not as subtle in his script, and I feel like sometimes it's like maybe you need to be a little bit more just obvious, No, I mean, it's very subtle. I mean, is what I mean. But I mean, there's sometimes you need to be like, this is what I'm trying to do. Is that Batman is understanding later on, especially as the film goes. He's like, I'm kind of doing what Riddler's doing. I'm trying to expose the corruption and take down the evil people, and Riddler's doing that too, but Riddler's doing it with no holds bar. Like Riddler is killing people to get his point across. And I've also as Batman gone around and saying, "I'm vengeance." I mean, people literally call him Mr. Vengeance for a shit ton of the movie. And then it's only until the end when that weird follower from YouTube of the Riddler says, "I'm vengeance," is when Batman is like, fuck.
I think
I've been wrong, dog. I've been wrong.
I think that was it too. Is like, which storyline are we fucking going with right now? Like,
Well, that's what I feel like I feel like sometimes you can be too smart for your own good.
Yeah, well, they're basically fucking making mountain out of a molehill. I mean, like with the whole like everybody's corrupt. They took so long to explain that, like we know they're fucking corrupt. And then like also the best parts of the movie to me were, like I said, when they actually leaned into how tired he fucking was.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, when he's sitting there and dude, by the way, I loved it that the Notebook was called the Gotham Project, like year 1, year 2, when he closes it and he's doing the Notebook. That was cool shit. I love that idea that it was like a project. It's called the Gotham Project. That was really neat. And then like when he's talking about like, I need to do more, I need to push myself. And then, but it seems like they forgot that for the entire middle of the movie. And they got back to it at the end alongside of the, I need to, now one running theme through the movie was everybody's fucking scared of him. When he rescues that dude from the guys who
they did a really good job of showing that though.
Yeah. And the guy's like, don't hurt me. But also they were kind of taking little shots at Batman in this movie. As far as he's not, like you were saying, he's kind of doing the same thing the Riddler is. Little things like those dudes who were in that thing, they were all scary and painted up, but they were just going to punch that guy. They were just going to punch him. Like they were going to knock him out for one of the stupid TikTok videos or whatever. And Batman literally almost beat them to fucking death.
Well, you know, I was taking that from, no, I thought it too. And I was like, it is a weird that the Riddler's goal is cross path. It's a very cross path situation with what Batman's goal is too. So of course the Riddler in his deranged mind would think they're working together in some way. But the reason why I only brought that up specifically, I noticed it, but I saw a review or maybe I read it or somebody was talking about it, and they had said that this film hates Batman, and I don't think that's true at all. They were like, this film hates Batman because they were like saying Batman's evil because Batman chooses to go out and fuck people up when you do wrong, because they try to throw him in the same kind of category as what the Riddler's doing. And it wasn't only until the end when Batman's like, okay, well, I just can't go beat people up and bring injustice to his knees. I have to be more than that. I was like, well, I think that's a good idea. I think that's a great idea because Batman learned a lesson. To be more. Yeah,
he learned a lesson. It's not saying he's forever this person, but he learned the lesson in the movie.
Well, I feel like Nolan explained it best. He has to be a symbol. Like, it's not about like, I mean, of course he's driven by vengeance, but then I think at the end of this movie, what Reeves's Batman is realizing is that I cannot be ruled by vengeance any longer, because if you're ruled only by vengeance, then you don't see anything. You don't see justice anymore. You just see an eye for an eye. And then that's not the way it's supposed to be. And so at the very end, when you see him like with the people, like going into the city after it's fucking, by the way, because the Riddler floods the entire Gotham City, and you see Batman going in there and rescuing people and doing all this shit.
That scene.
It's very much a redemption moment. It's very much a baptism, because and I'm gonna steal this from this guy, because I was like, dude, that's fucking when Batman, after he takes that adrenaline when he takes that adrenaline shot, right? And he pulls the mask off that Riddler henchman. He says, "I'm vengeance." And he has that moment of shocked realization that he has been ruled by the same thing this crazy is spouting. He jumps onto the wire, and to save the people, he cuts the electricity and falls into the water. And when he rises back up, he's been baptized as he comes to the surface as now a new Avenger of Justice.
Who said that?
Then, I can't, I'm not going to. No, okay. I
Whoever said it's fucking smart. I would have never thought of that.
No, I know when he said it, I'm like, it instantly clicked. I'm like, dude, that's exactly what it is. It's very biblical. And then he goes into the people, and now I said this though, when he goes to the people that aren't trapped, they are trapped, but they're not. And he pops the flare and he leads them out. He's like Moses leading the people out of, Egypt into the promised land. And then the end of the movie is him, helping the people being transported. Now I can't say who it is, because I don't want it be tainted with people being mad or because it's one of those kind of reviewers. But I was like, when that guy,
why did I agree? Fuck.
Well, he's not the most terrible, but it was I was like, dude, because he didn't like the movie, but I was like, I don't know why you didn't like the movie, because what you just explained is fucking incredible. Because the fact is that he goes into the water and then rises in a baptism as a new type of hero that Gotham needs.
That's
I
some
was like, that's
symbolism right there.
fucking goddamn. That's exactly what Reeves was going for.
Yeah, that's some really good symbolism there. And like, you know, I think that if they just honed it in, it would have been perfect. Like, it could have been a perfect movie. It could have been the greatest Batman movie of all time for me as well, if they just honed in on the right stuff, because the right stuff was fucking there. And I also think that this was Pattinson in the bat suit moving around. That may, and we'll get to our rankings on Wednesday. Don't forget that, guys. We're gonna go deep in all this stuff on Wednesday, but like, it may be the best bat suit ever. I don't know yet, but that bat suit was fucking amazing.
I think that bat suit's up there.
But like, and then one thing we got to talk about as well. I know we got to get to some super chats as well, but one thing we do have to talk about is what they did with Bruce Wayne's fucking parents. Like,
that's kind of weird.
And again, they took way too long to fucking get there, because I feel we saw literally the writing on the wall 20 minutes before they actually revealed it. And I feel like Batman, being the world's greatest fucking detective, probably should have picked up on it a little bit sooner.
Well, he was tired, Mike. Have you seen his eyes? He had a lot of fucking dark circles under there.
He was fucking tired, man.
he was tired. He was
staying up all night listening to that Hawthorne.
That motherfucker looked like the guy and Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls.
But we find out that
you don't recognize your own face.
And just one more time, I'm just gonna say this one more time, because I don't feel like I said it enough. The way that Dano does his line delivery is so fucking good, dude, because he goes from, you know, you did this, Batman, and
by the way,
you're a real bad guy.
Hey guys,
like, you're scaring me, dude.
Do us a favor, if you guys don't know, go and watch Paul Dano films. Paul Dano, we're not like blowing his dick. He's actually an incredible actor. He really is an incredible actor. He's done some really good stuff, and he's not just fucking Tripod from Girl Next Door. Because if you say Paul Dano, and it's so weird, that guy has come so far. He was fucking Tripod in Girl Next Door. Yeah, he did. He fucking killed, dude. He was so good and creepy and scary, and like all of his line delivery. But so they reveal that basically, and some people don't like this. This was a chance that they took. They revealed that Thomas Wayne wasn't this perfect guy. I don't think that's human. That's not that big of a stretch, though. I mean, basically, Liam Neeson, Qui-Gon Jinn himself, blamed. He was like, "That was your dad's fucking fault." He's like, "I've had trainers. Like, training doesn't matter," or whatever it was he said there. He's like, he blamed his dad as well for their deaths by not, the failure to act. So, and then again, it all comes out to it's a gray area at the end anyway, because once Falcone explains it to him, and then Alfred explains it to him, it's like, no, you don't understand. He made a mistake, but he tried to fix that mistake. So it's not like they made him a giant piece of shit. What I love, though, and I'll shut up. But I just want to say one more thing. What I do love, I actually think this is really cool. They made Bruce Wayne's mom mentally unstable. I love that. Where she was in and out of a home. I love that. Yeah. It adds this whole nother layer to Batman. Like, they, because we've always said Batman, going back to Batman Forever, the psyche stuff that she was all into about him. Batman's always had a fucked up psyche. They kind of made him have mental issues in this, like hereditary wise. And I think that makes him so much more interesting as a Batman. Well, the two things is that ultimately Thomas Wayne wasn't evil. Right. He was a guy with his heart in the right place, and he trusted the wrong people, which can happen to anybody. And he was a politician, and I felt like he was going to be one of the good politicians. He was trying to do what was right for being mayor of Gotham, but he trusted John Turturro to do something for him. Basically, he wants a guy to shut the fuck up, because his wife, the mother of my kids, in my house, she has mental issues, right? And she's in and out of Arkham Asylum, and she's got, they don't really explore what those mental issues are, but she's in and out. And it's not the fact that he is afraid. Thomas Wayne's not afraid of what it's going to do to his political aspirations, but he doesn't want that coming back and embarrassing his son or hurting his wife. So he tried to tell this journalist, just drop the fucking story, tried to pay him off. The journalist says, "So fuck you." So he goes to a guy like John Turturro, Carmine, who he thinks is going to be like, "Hey, you can put the muscle and kind of squeeze to him, tell him to shut the fuck up, and maybe even still give him the money at the end." John Turturro takes it too far and kills him. And then John Turturro has something, or Carmine has something over top of now on Thomas Wayne. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, hearing about, you don't really know who orders the death of Thomas and Martha Wayne, because I liked how they kept that up in the open too. Because they're like, did Maroni do it? Did Carmine do it? Or was it just some crazy fucking guy that hadn't needed money? Right. And that was what happened. And that's what, but I feel like that's what life is for Bruce Wayne. He's like, he's never going to know. Was it just a random violent act, or was it planned? Or because because he goes to Alfred, or no, when Batman goes to Carmine, he's like, did Maroni plan my parents' death? And he's like, yeah, that's what he wanted. He wanted to kill, he couldn't control him. And then he goes to Alfred. He's like, no, it was Carmine. But then Alfred says, I have no proof. It could have just been a random street violence because people were starving in the street. And that, they were just victims. I love that whole fucking thing, dude. I think they did a really good job with that. And I do like the fact that they show that Thomas Wayne is fallible. He's not some perfect father, which no father is going to be perfect. And that the mother was a good mother, but had some problems. Like, fucking Madonna using filters on her Instagram.
It was in scenes like that, though. I kind of felt like the Riddler when he was like, "You're not as smart as I thought you were." You know what I mean?
Yeah, Robert Pattinson wasn't though. I feel like Robert Pattinson's Batman was definitely not like up on like Sudoku and shit like that. He had just started out, so he didn't like understand all that riddle shit.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, bro, I just thought you were trying to fucking bomb the city or something. You had this whole crazy plan.
World's greatest detective doesn't know how to step away from a bomb.
But I will say they do. But they really did go all the way with the detective story. Like it was all the way detective story.
Yeah, they did a lot more than any other film's done. That's for sure. And I guess at the end of the day, this movie for me is going to be a movie that was fucking great. But I feel like if they had leaned into the psyche of Batman a little bit more, if they'd leaned into how tired he was a little bit more, if they'd really just like focused a little bit instead of like kind of being a little all over the place, like they wanted to do, I think, too much. And also, at first I didn't care that it was PG-13, and I even watched it and said,
I feel like it needed to be rated R. Rated R.
And it's not because like death scenes or anything like that. First death scene when the Riddler kills that guy, that was scary. Like,
dude,
when he's like,
when he walks into the apartment and then you just see him kind of like,
that was freaky.
Like he just standing there and the music. I'm like, oh god, dude.
And they deserve credit for doing that with a PG-13. They made him and his death scene scary. At least the first one. The fucking one in the backseat of the car when they blurred it out. And it was like,
you know what? And again, I just want people to know that we're not trying to say that every Batman movie has to be dark and gritty and nasty. But this movie calls for it. It's like if you guys are flirting with the devil, it's like going to a strip bar and they don't take off their panties and bras. Why are you going?
The movie itself is a perfect analogy. Like, I need to push myself farther. I need to go deeper. I need to go fucking darker. I need to really push things. And the movie itself is unwilling to do that. It's like, no, we'll study PG-13. Like, you should push yourself too, and really go into what you're trying to do here.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing that shackled the RoboCop remake. There was a lot of problems with that movie. Fucking sucked. But there was a lot of problems. The biggest problem is that they shackled themselves by saying it's got to be rated PG-13. Let's just make a fucking robot movie with Michael Keaton being the bad guy. I'm like, you guys have Michael fucking Keaton being your bad guy. You have RoboCop, who was a hero from the late 80s, who is literally known for doing rated R movies from RoboCop 1 and 2, and you guys refuse to do it. So, I feel like if you're going to make a movie like this, just go full gonzo. Let's pull our dicks out and like stick it to the wind. And see what happens.
Like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to make it that perfect line where like parents think they can take like their 10-year-olds to it, and then it's just scary enough to fuck them up, but you got them in the door to fuck them up.
You know what happens is because I feel like these studios are so fucking scared sometimes, dude. And by the way, I feel like it's the best Batman movie I've ever seen in my life, but I feel like studios are so scared because they remember the backlash they got for something like Batman Returns because they said it was too dark. We couldn't go take our children to go see it because it was so dark. My son thought he was Danny DeVito because he's fat. Again, you may, I don't know. I'm just making that up, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like they were like, he was disturbed. He couldn't go to the circus and eat popcorn, and then you have something like Deadpool. Deadpool, literally in the comic books, is a mature only comic book, and there was some bitch on CNN when that movie was coming out. It's like, it's just really sad that we live in a day and age that I can't even take my 14-year-old son or 12-year-old son to go see Deadpool, and it's a superhero. I was like, bitch, have you read this comic? You don't even know the fuck you talking. So again, if you're gonna, so you could make, there have been darker versions of Batman before in graphic novels, and they're not meant to be for kids. I know that superheroes are it's obviously that's what kids need to have, heroes and shit like that. But there are certain stories that aren't meant for kids. And by the way, we all were once kids too that grew up with Batman, and we all grew up, and now you want to read a different kind of story. So
it's still a great movie, even though they made it PG-13. I just think that, like, you know, if you're making a movie about really pushing things to the brink, and you're saying that you're doing all this
Joker
new and
did it.
different stuff.
I mean, what's
do
wrong?
it.
Well, Joker went rated R.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah. I think the movie would have been better for it. It didn't need it, but it would have been better for it.
Before I know you're gonna get to the super chats. I really have to pee one more time.
Okay, that's cool. You're good. Is Thor outside? Katie. She has her headphones in. Kate. Hey, I'm trying to get you. I think Thor's outside.
Oh, he is.
He's barking.
Oh, okay.
I'm yelling at you for like 30 seconds.
What'd you say?
I've been yelling at you for like 30 seconds.
Well,
I'm like,
I
Kate.
can't listen to
I know.
anything you say about that.
Katie hasn't seen.
My headphones are on really high.
Katie hasn't seen Batman yet, so she didn't want to be spoiled on it. So that was that whole thing. But yeah, look, and again, like, man, I love this movie. I love it so much that I see the potential it had to really dive into, you know, the stuff. And like, you know, everybody compares it to Seven. Like, you can make a movie that looks like Seven and has some of the aspects of Seven. But one of the craziest things about Seven is I knew while watching Seven for the first time, we were about to go to a place no one's ever gone to before. You know what I mean? I knew that movie was going to end. You just had that palpable tension that you knew this movie is going someplace dark that we've never seen before. Something fucked up is going to happen. In this movie, they just kind of made it look like Seven a couple times, and the detective stuff was sort of Seven-ish, and they did the Notebook thing. But like, did this movie end with what's in the box? No, it did not. So to me, it does not feel like Seven. I appreciate the nods, and I love that that's in a Batman movie. But you know, and I love the movie. All I'm saying is this is why it's not a 10 for me. It's not my favorite Batman. It's an 8.5. Great fucking movie. Amazing fucking Batman. But they did not capitalize on some of the fires they started. You know what I mean? They didn't let that wicket get to the goddamn dynamite on multiple fronts. And that's my main thing about this movie. Like, it could have been fucking great. It could have been the unquestionable art piece, fucking mind-blowing, goddamn groundbreaking movie with some of the ideas that were in it. And they just, you know, if they would have just went all gas, no fucking break, they could have done it. And I feel like they braked a little bit a few times, and just too much stuff going on all at once, and a lot of wasted time. They could have focused more on Batman's psyche, but instead we got like the opening scene in itself. Why did we have to watch the kid come in and kill the dad with the sword, and the dad get back up, and then the dad have the whole conversation about the election on the phone? And like, there was so much stuff that they could have just explained. But I feel like it's a lot of that director's just, I love this shot so much. I know that nothing important's happening here, but god damn, did you frame that good, Greg? I'm not taking this out of the fucking movie. No, this is an art house film. You know what I mean? Like, there's derivative stuff. Just could have been more intense had they cut this movie by 20 minutes. That's all I'm saying. Still fucking loved it. And Pattinson in the suit was fucking just ruled. Like, he was great in the fucking suit. Like, the chin is fucking perfect. He might be, and we'll have to talk about this when we get to our rankings, but Pattinson might be the best looking Batman in a bat suit. Worst fucking Bruce Wayne. Best Batman looks wise inside of that suit. Did he not look like the fucking Arkham Asylum Batman from fucking head to toe with that suit and the dude's chin? And just one more time, as my fucking camera freezes, I'm changing the battery. Terrible time for that to happen. We're still here. I'm still here, Steven. But just one more time, look at Bruce Wayne when he's walking up. Not when he takes off the cowl and he's got like the emo shit on in the cave, but look at Bruce Wayne when he's walking in the church and he's got like the comb over and shit, and he's in the suit and he's all like, I thought my dad fixed you when I was the kid from the top of the stairs. Look at him when he's like that, and tell me that one motherfucker in all of Gotham is going to look at that guy and be like, oh, you're fucking Batman. This is the one time in the history of the Batman franchise nobody was guessing who the fuck Batman was. And I did like the idea that he thought for sure Riddler had him pegged. And, you know, and when when Lieutenant Gordon got that phone call and he's like, "Hey, Riddler wants to see you." It was basically the equivalent on Batman's face of your mom like calling the school to tell them that she's coming to pick you up because she wants to have a conversation with you, or when you're at your friend's house and your mom calls like, "I'm coming to pick Michael up right now. We're gonna have a conversation." Batman was like, "Oh fuck, he knows. The guy in 2B knows. Get him and rape him." He thought Riddler knew who the fuck he was, and when he goes to that cell sequence and the wall's coming up, and he's like, "Bruce Wayne," Bruce Wayne. Batman's like, "God damn it, I'm fucked." And then the second Batman realized that he didn't actually know he was Bruce Wayne, he got all badass again. He was like, "I'm about to fuck you up. At least I'm gonna punch this wall. At least I'm gonna hit this glass." That was kind of neat. I like that too. And again, my favorite storyline of the entire fucking movie is no doubt the fact that Batman realizes that he can't be vengeance, that he has to help the people. That is something cool that none of the other Batmans have done. And that is one of those things that make this a great fucking movie.
Hey, Mike, what would you think if they ever brought in, I'm just saying, like, I know it's crazy because he's Ant-Man already, but do you think there'd be a place for someone like Paul Rudd in the Batman universe?
Paul Rudd could be
He couldn't be Alfred.
fuck no.
And he couldn't be Robin. He's too old.
No, too old for that.
But he would be a really good Robin if it was back in the day.
Look, the only way Paul Rudd, I think that you'd have to fucking whitewash Lucius Fox. And I think that would piss people off.
Yeah, we can't do that.
But he could be a Lucius Fox.
But no, I think Paul Rudd could fit in. I was just thinking of Paul Rudd. I don't know why I was thinking of Paul Rudd. I was just thinking of Paul Rudd. I was like, dude, Paul Rudd could rock the shit out of a Batman movie. I just don't know what he would do.
I think it's too dark for his type of character anyway, though. Like, I don't.
No, he could be Mad Hatter. like a villain, like a crazy fucking like stupid villain.
I got
like Mad Hatter, and he's obsessed with Alice in Wonderland. I could see that.
All right. P says, thanks, buddy. He says that green adrenaline that Batman injects could be a setup for Bane and his juice. What do you guys think? Jay was just talking about that. I think that's fucking genius.
I think so. And by the way, I hope that you know, and again, nothing wrong with Tom Hardy's performance. Obviously, he was the best Bane we've ever seen. And that's not, you know, again, he didn't really have much to match up against. But I would really love to see a Bane that's not beholden to Talia al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul. Like he's a street thug that's smart and he knows how to get shit done, and he becomes like a force unto himself.
Yeah, no, I would like that a lot for sure. I really would, and I love the idea that was Bane. Bane gets that juice, and that's what happens.
Well, I do want to say, and I know we're gonna, guys, on Wednesday. You guys got to come back on Wednesday because we're gonna get so deep in this. You're gonna have to go and visit your priest and wonder if you got raped in the butt, because there's gonna be so much goodness going on. That's a weird analogy, and I shouldn't have said it. I regret immediately saying it, but I will say, Mike, I just want to ask really quick: the Batmobile in this movie,
yeah,
how sexy on a 1 to 10 scale do you give it?
Not ranking scale, but sexy scale.
Just sexy, not like
10, buddy. It's a 10.
It's
just one of the sexiest little cars I ever saw in my whole goddamn life.
Yeah, it's like Paris Hilton's like, that's hot. I feel like, and I saw it when I saw it come out of the alleyway, and when it burst onto the highway scene chasing the penguin, I was like, that's hot. It was just so fucking badass, dude.
Yeah, dude. No, you're absolutely right. Like, I don't know where I'm gonna rank it because, like,
but I will agree with you back on the non-spoiler review when you were mentioning the Ben Affleck Batmobile. I recently looked back at that one. I like it, but dude, it does look like they were trying their best to combine the Tumbler with the '89 Batmobile, and it didn't really work in the level that it should have.
Yeah, and again, I'm not a Tumbler guy. You know what I mean? Like, the Tumbler was too tankish for me.
Well, I'll tumble for you. I'll tumble. By the way, I was gonna say that Batmobile. Also, I'm gonna point this out, is because the Batmobile in the Ben Affleck, the Batman, his version of the Batman is, we never got a full Ben Affleck movie to really showcase that Batmobile. So you only got to see it in parts.
It was super CGI-ish to me, though. That's my only problem with it. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to read this one and then I'm going to go take a pee myself. Sean Ye West says, I agree with you guys, all set with Joker and Harley. Nice alkaline trio, by the way. Maybe I'll Catch Fire is one of my favorite records. Yeah, dude, I love the idea of this tattoo. The dude that I went to get, I just went like a flyby night to some guy and he fucked it up. Had to do it twice. Still not that great, but I appreciate that.
He's probably on Bane juice.
Alkaline Trio, one of my favorites.
He's probably on Bane juice.
One of my favorite fucking bands of all fucking time is Alkaline Trio, man. Amazing band. Don't love the tattoo. Do love the fucking band. And I love the symbol. They just fucked up the tattoo. But all right, I'll be right back.
Okay, I'm gonna talk for Mike because apparently I'm Mike now.
Oh, what? It's just me. My bad.
Believe it or not, it's just me.
I'm glad you fucking said that because I really would have walked away.
I shouldn't have said shit. I should have just let it go. It would have just been an empty chair. All right, guys, I've got to get back because there's some super chats that we have forgotten or that we didn't forget, but we were behind because we talk like chicken heads at a supermarket. Mike and I do. So I got to go back here, guys. I got to get back here. Hold on. Oh my God. You guys are awesome. I don't know. I don't remember the last thing that Mike said. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay. So Shanye West, thank you so much. He says, I agree with you guys, all set with Joker and Harley. He did say that? Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm glad I have backup. I have my own version of what we would call a Batgirl. You just need to be seen, not heard. It's fine. Courtney Reed. Hey, Courtney, come on, man. It's Courtney. Courtney's my partner for life. He says Bryan Cranston as Mr. Freeze. I would, dude. Yes, I would 100. I think Mike would agree with that. And Mike argues with everything. I would think that Mike would agree with that because Bryan Cranston is a national treasure. Ethan, thank you so much. He says, I think I'm in the minority here when I say I'd like to see very different and smaller villains get the spotlight. Mr. Bloom, for example. Yes. You're not in the minority. I think it would be fine to give them some recognition. I don't know if like you're talking about the full, like unless you're saying like the whole movie should be them. I mean, Calendar Man is not a very fucking good villain, but I would give him like 35 minutes or some shit. But yeah, I get you. I mean, look, I don't care. Like, let's just lay off the Joker shit for a little while. And you know, the more go-to villains that it seems like a lot of these directors and writers do for Batman movies, I'd be okay with that. So yeah. DJ Ira, thank you so much. He says Batman Begin versus the Batman is like GWS versus Golden. I don't know basketball. Golden State Warriors is that he said GWS versus 90s Bull. I'm guessing you're saying Golden State Warriors versus 90s Bull. Yeah. If you're saying that the 90s Bulls is the Batman, I agree. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen throw it down. They get it done. They clean it up. They snort some cocaine off a stripper's asshole, and then they come back and win it again the next year. I agree with you 1,000%. 1,000%. What's going through here? The Jaeger bomb. I read your super chat. I appreciate you. D Mitch 14. Thank you so much. He says every live action Batman. By the way, if I'm rereading these, I feel like an asshole, but I hope I'm not. Every live action Batman walks into a room. Only one of them can come out on top. Who is it? And what order do they get killed off? And go. That's a good question, D Mitch. That's also going to tie back to our Wednesday stream that we will have coming up. But in my opinion, every live action Batman walks into a room and only one of them can come out on top. Who is it? Just because of pure physicality, just because he's big as fuck, he looks like Hulk Hogan in a bat suit, I'm going to have to go with Ben Affleck's Batman. He's a monster. Like, if you're talking about physical only, yeah, Ben Affleck will whoop that ass. But if there's gadgets and things involved, that's a tougher question. But just as far as like, if they don't have any weapons or anything, like Ben Affleck's Batman might walk out. P, thank you so much. He says that green adrenaline could be a hint towards Bane. Absolutely. We agree on that 100,000%. I might be Idiotko. I don't know what your fucking name says, but it's interesting and I like it. Thank you so much for your super chat. He says, would you prefer more comic book stories being used for future movies or more original scripts? I think there's so many good comic book stories out there that Hollywood hasn't touched or tackled or even played with, that I don't think that you need to do an original Hollywood story. And first off, I wouldn't trust an original Hollywood story when it comes to some beloved heroes like Batman or Superman or anything like that, or even Marvel's characters, Spider-Man, Iron Man. There's a lot of different stories in graphic novels that have literally never been touched, that I think Hollywood, if as long as studio involvement weren't a thing, could do a really good job. Booster Seat, thank you so much. He says the Suicide Squad 2021 or the Batman. That's, come on, Booster. Okay, let's get you a little higher seat so you can see. It's going to be the Batman. I love the Suicide Squad 2021. I think they did a great and fantastical job of bringing back that particular squad and making it, fun and delightful. But the Batman, dude, come on. Some good stuff. Some good stuff. Patricia Gregory. Hi, guys. Much love. Patricia, thank you so much. Much love to you and to your loved ones as well. Peace be with you and with you.
And with you.
All right. So I was going through the super chats. I got through Patricia Gregory. And so now that's where I left off.
Okay. I will catch up with you.
By the way, I did, somebody asked, and I'm sorry, I was going through all the names, so I can't remember. But we do appreciate your super chat and we love you. And we're thinking about you when we touch our wieners. He asks, if all the live action Batman walked into a room, which live action Batman would walk out solo and why?
Oh, fuck, dude.
But I picked mine, and it's not because, I think Robert Pattinson is the greatest Batman I've ever seen on film, but I had to pick it based on realism. So my answer was Ben Affleck 1000%, just because of physicality. This motherfucker literally picked up tires and dragged them around in BVS. He literally dragged tires, big giant monster wheel tires.
Yeah. All right.
So no weapons, by the way, no weapons, no fucking sorcery. You got just these guys go in. You're talking about George Clooney, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, Robert Pattinson, Ben Affleck, Christian Bale.
George Clooney dies in seconds.
Yeah. Adam West died before him.
Yeah, Adam West dies, and then I think George Clooney and Adam West just kill each other in like a slap fight.
Yeah, Adam West was like, Robin, my heart. By the way, I know that Adam West is passed on. No disrespect, but you know what I mean. It's
just that version of Batman.
It's a joke.
I'm gonna say I agree with you. I actually think though that I think the last two standing, based on, like you said, pure physicality and will, there's something about Christian Bale's Batman to me that has more will. The dude fixed his own broken back in a jail cell doing push-ups and shit.
Well, some guy pushed his vertebrae in for him.
You have had your shit pushed
in. By the way, that was the grossest fucking scene I've ever seen in the Batman movie. When you hear,
but I think Christian Bale's Batman has more willpower than any other Batman, and I think that it would end up between. Those would be the last two standing, would be Bale and Affleck. And I think Affleck takes him fucking down.
Dude, Affleck of the Batman world is like Debo. That's my bike, punk. Like, he's like, Christian Bale is fucking Smokey. He's like, he tell me shut the fuck up. And I'll be shutting up, but when you leave, I'll be talking again. Yeah, dude. By the way, first off, Christian Bale's Batman got broke by Bane, and Ben Affleck's Batman would fuck up Bane just on physicality alone and body slam that motherfucker to WrestleMania 28,000. Like,
dude,
like it's not even. I mean, dude, look, think about that. Ben Affleck's Batman is bigger than Bane. Yeah. He's bigger than fucking Bane. He went toe to toe with Superman. Nah.
Yeah.
It's over before it started, dog. You're gonna not get Randy's autograph on a katana sword. What's it? Randy? I want to say Randy 7. Randy Jackson's
Jackson.
autograph.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that's the way it would go. And Richard doesn't agree with me, and that's okay. And some people don't agree with me because they think Christian Bale's Batman's a pussy, but I don't think he's a pussy at all, dude. I mean, I think that guy I think he's the toughest, like, as far as what he can endure. Like, Keaton never went through anything like they went through. Nobody went through as much as Bale's Batman did physically. Like, dude, he took a fucking beating. I mean, he took a fucking beating.
You don't know shit, man, because Kevin Conroy took a beating for years.
Yeah, his vocal cords never worked.
Kevin Conroy is the true master. Yeah, well, as far as like physical specimen, Bale was the biggest Batman up to that point.
Yeah,
and then Affleck came in and said, "You want to know what steroids do to your body, bro? Let me show you."
Yeah, and also, by the way, this movie took from a lot of other Batman movies, dude. Not only, and I think it was actually meant as like a tribute to them. I don't think it was the movie ripping them off. But there was one scene where Batman was literally up in the corner, just like he was at the beginning of Batman vs Superman. Like he was hanging in the corner, and then they also did the tunnel scene from the Dark Knight Rises when he was like popping up around the gunshots. They did that exact same scene over again.
Lot of that, but that reminded me a lot of like a Terminator.
This one was better.
Shooting him.
This one was like, yeah.
Well, I know you're talking about in the Dark Knight Rises when he's doing the quick in and out. Or they did Dark Knight. I don't know. Yeah,
that was Rises.
It was Rises. Yeah,
it was on his way to meet Bane, but like, and by the way, Batman takes more gunshots in this movie than he did the entire fucking franchise.
I love that because, and I also love the fact that it fucking hurts, and you can tell that it hurts because he hasn't figured out how to do he doesn't have a Lucius Fox right now.
Yeah,
that can give him the suits that he needs. So I don't know.
I love
the look, and I love the idea that like this is a real true life Batman year one. Batman year one, even though we're in year two, it really does feel like Batman year one mixed with Long Halloween.
Yeah, and y'all are putting on like, hey man, I know that Bale's Batman like in the suit wasn't that great all the times, but like, dude, look at all those shots of Bruce Wayne waking up the next day and just bruises all over his fucking body and just being like, I don't even need breakfast, bitch. I'm going right into the fucking push-ups. Or when that dog mauled him and his arms literally open and he's just like sitting there fucking. Bale's Batman was fucking tough as shit.
I agree. I don't think anybody can. I mean, like a physical specimen wise, like Batman was specifically in Batman Begins, not really in the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises. He had lost weight specifically for the Dark Knight Rises because he had to be an older looking Batman. Batman Begins, he was jacked as fuck.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's even what they told him when he tried out. I think he was too big. And then he had to lose weight because he was too big for the fucking suit. So he was a jacked fucking guy. But no, he's not even. It's like the version like Sylvester Stallone's Rocky going up against Rambo. Rambo's gonna like snap that motherfucker in two and then like use his bones to pick his teeth. So if he's going against Ben Affleck's Batman, specific like body wise. Nah, that ain't it, bro.
You want to talk about training? I mean, like, look at all the training Bale's Batman went through, like the tiger, the bear, the fucking Ra's al Ghul, the training that he went through versus this Batman, which was what Alfred was like. I taught you how to fight.
Who are you talking about?
The Pattinson's Batman. The only thing we know about his training, is that.
I mean, it's a different time. I mean, we don't know all. I thought you were talking about Ben Affleck's Batman. I mean, Ben Affleck's Batman had been doing it for. By the way, I also want to point out that the Ben Affleck's Batman has a shit ton more experience. He'd been doing this for a longer fucking time, and he never stopped. Like, see, Christian Bale took the pussy way out and said, "I'm going to give it to Joseph Gordon-Levitt because I don't want to do it anymore, and I'm going to go eat fucking French croissants with my woman."
Kumquat.
Ben Affleck was like, "Nah, you know what? I got busted on Tom Brady's airplane." Fucked with my maid and my woman's left me. And then I got drunk. And then I said, that ain't enough. Now I'm going to go work out, bitch. And
I drank all the wine in the wine cellar.
That's what Ben Affleck comes from. Ben Affleck comes from anger, dude. That motherfucker is a furnace fire.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he was.
So, I mean, just physical. Yeah. No, but you can't, like, nobody can really argue. Like, up to Ben Affleck, Christian Bale was probably the best in shape Batman we'd ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, he really was.
Okay, so like two things I want to say before we wrap this up is number one, there's still 260 you guys left, and we really appreciate every single one of you guys hanging out with us tonight. It's been a really good time.
Really fun.
if every single one of you guys in here, everybody watching this right now, just takes a second to just click the like button, just grab them
awesome.
on the phone, whatever, just click the like button. That helps, super helpful. Helps us rank a little bit in the algorithm. So we'd really appreciate that. And secondly, there's so much more to get into. And after Wednesday, like Wednesday, we're live streaming Wednesday night, 8:00, right? After that, it'll be a few days before we do a live stream.
Break.
Yeah, we'll take a little live stream break. So be there Wednesday night. We're going to rank all this shit, the Batmans, the suits, the Batmobiles, and you guys are going to get to vote on it while we do it. It's a Wednesday night fight, as some people in the chat have been saying. We're going to do it that style. We're going to let you guys pick, but we're going to give our opinions as you all pick. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say that real quick. And then finally,
by the way, I also want to mention, you know, it's really great if you guys like the video and share it if you can, but liking the video really, really, really does help the algorithm, because YouTube fucking hates us and they don't recommend the video to, you know, we're literally becoming Robert Pattinson. We just sit in the shadows, you know, 2 years of night, and we're nocturnal. Like, nobody knows who, they don't care. Also, it'd be really awesome if you guys would comment down below too. You know, because I know that we don't have, you know, we can't answer every question and we can't get to every single person. So if you comment below, we'll try to get to you in the comments. But that also helps the video, because it shows that you're engaging and interacting. And, you know, it's kind of stupid. And we don't like doing that, because obviously we don't like stopping the show in the middle of it and talking to you guys about that, because it's all business kind of shit. But that's the reality, is that a lot of channels out there, the reason why that you know, there's not a larger audience for them, or they don't get, you know, people to interact with, they should be able to interact with, is because the algorithm fucking sucks. And if YouTube says, hey, people are commenting, or hey, people are liking the video, we'll recommend that to people that have never seen the channel before. And that's always fun, because then you guys get to interact and hang out with other people that come into the comments and section and in the live stream. So
so and well said. And like, hey, if you said something in the chat that we didn't get to, that wasn't a super chat, just put it down below and we'll answer it for sure. So, all right, last super chat of the night. Dark Reaper 99 gets the pleasure of closing us out. I'd like to see Clayface brought to screen. A Lon Chaney type serial killer changes his appearance with mask and makeup, like in Mission Impossible. Ooh.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. If it was like that kind, and because Clayface didn't become like the uber, like, supernatural Clayface that we know him from the animated series or the comic books that we know him from until later on after an accident, but he was a makeup artist, so he was able to commit crimes and shit using that. It's like Christopher Nelson committing crimes.
It was
it's like our good bud Christopher Nelson committing crimes, and then some kind of crazy lab accident actually makes him where he can form himself into anything he wants.
And by the way, I lied. There's another super chat from Bat Seal. Howdy, Mike and Jay. There was a prequel book, and in it, Bruce trained in several places around the world. Y'all should check it out. So that adds some context.
Dude, I know what he's talking about. I think I didn't watch the review, but somebody did do that. I wish I could have got that book, because someone. That's what we should have done. I'm only jealous because, like, oh fuck, we should have read that book and then did a video before the movie came out. Because I know exactly what he's talking about. There is a book that came out, and it does explain all that backstory with Bruce Wayne, Robert Pattinson's Batman, and why he knows all that shit.
I'm gonna read that.
It's kind of like if you guys Star Wars Episode 1. I bought the books for Episode 1 before the movie came out, and explained a lot more, and the Revenge of the Sith. So that's pretty much what they did for the Batman. Damn, that's a good suggestion.
Yeah, I dig that. I'm gonna check that out. And then Vanessa said Affleck can work me out.
Yep, he'll break your fucking spine in a warehouse, but that's okay.
I ain't gay, but I probably fuck that dude.
Nah, he's too rough. No, I mean, that he looks good, but he does look like that kind of guy. Like, first time you go into lockup, like when you're not gonna eat your fruit cup, he'll be the guy that sits down next to be like, you got protection? I'm like, no. I just got here. It was like, you want your fruit cup? I'm like, I should say no, but you're big. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna take your fruit cup, then I'm gonna take your fruit cup.
I'm gonna stick my finger in your mashed potatoes. Like,
you did that.
Shit good.
But at the same time, I see you in Mallrats, and you got no respect for people that don't have a shopping agenda. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna fuck you in the back of a Volkswagen.
Vanessa, Jesus Christ, he'd break you in half. You'd be like pieces of dirt, and
she could take it.
You'd be like pieces of like clothing all over the highway.
Vanessa could take that bat flick dick.
You know, look, hey, look, if Batfleck ran through Vanessa, it'd be like a fucking like car hitting a deer at 85 miles an hour. You would just see pieces of flesh and bone.
Jesus Christ, if the baby kicks, it'll kick right through her fallopian tubes. If she gets a tan, it'll kick right through.
If the kid gets a tan, she'll die.
Hey guys, this has been fun as fuck. Thanks for talking Batman spoilers for us and hanging out with us and hanging out. We love your fucking faces. We'll see you in 2 days at 8 p.m. Eastern to get deep inside that crack.
Gonna get crazy with it, y'all. We're gonna get crazy with that stick.
Get crazy with the cheese whiz.
I think you said the G spot. I wish I could find it.
It's a mythical G spot.
It really is a creature.
Off to find the G spot. Love you guys.
Bye.